I'm a fan of ramen. I like. I mean, I'll deal with instant if I have to, but if I can go to a good ramen shop, like I'm pretty sure all three of us have been to like pretty good ramen shops in our lives. Yeah. Oh, it's so worth that money and so worth that price. Now, I was at the grocery store the other week, and I was just going through getting, the casual things, milk, Wheaties, eggs, and I see something there called Mike's Mighty Good Organic Ramen.
What?
Okay. Already.
It's a strong
Mighty
brand.
Good.
Yeah, it's a very strong brand.
Mighty Good Ramen.
I actually have a cup of it right here.
Okay.
It's Kraft ramen, allegedly.
No.
Oh, it is. It's Kraft.
What? Like, wait, as in the brand Kraft, as in the macaroni and cheese?
No. It's Mike's Mighty Good Kraft Organic Ramen. It's like artisanal.
Locally sourced. Yeah, I was going to say it's artisanal, it's locally sourced, it's fully sustainable.
Yeah.
Homegrown organic ramen.
Yeah, no GMOs.
So it costs about $5 a cup.
Surprisingly, only $2 a cup, which is still like heinous for instant ramen, but
Right.
For an organic product, I guess $2 isn't so bad. So I got 2 cups of it because I decided like it's ramen. Like it's hard to mess with what ramen is.
So you took a chance and rolled the dice, and
I did, and let's just say I'm out $4 that I will never get back. So I got chicken flavored and pork cutlet flavored, which are 2 like great, like hard to mess with flavors. Right.
some solid bets there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I make the chicken one, and it's like your classic, pour the hot water in, close the lid, wait a couple minutes. And
So it's not the it doesn't come with the packet. It's not one of the packet ones. You have to tear the packet open, throw the seasoning in there.
no, yeah, you throw seasoning in it and stuff. Like it has the packet and all that, and then it has its own like little packet of vegetable oil that you add in. So it's sitting there and it's stewing, and it smells so good. It smells so right. It smells straight out of like a good ramen shop, kind of like this hearty, nice broth.
And then comes the butt.
The second you put it in your mouth, the noodles like melt in your, like it's hard to distinguish one noodle from the other. It's really gross. And it soaks up the broth in a way that just turns it into like sewage. Basically,
Oh, no.
yeah, it's really bad.
Are you sure you didn't overcook the noodles? They just sound overcooked.
No, I waited only about like 4 minutes. It would have been undercooked at that point.
Wow. What are the noodles even made out of? It sounds like they have no bite to them.
Probably organic, artisanal stuff.
Potato meal, the same thing they make Pringles out of.
Yeah.
The same thing they make Funyuns out of.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Or like Top Ramen that you could basically find in the hardware aisle. But,
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's just, oh, man. Look, I never said that I'd trust a guy named Mike with my ramen.
Yeah, that was the poor choice number one there.
It was, but I guess I had hope that, some random guy out there named Mike, because I know some pretty good Mikes out there, would make some good instant ramen, some Kraft instant ramen.
Sir, your hard lemonade is so good. Where'd you turn so wrong with the noodles?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
it took me a second.
So welcome to the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
Top of the evening to you fine gentlemen, and a bong bong to everyone out there in the internet world.
I was waiting for it with bated breath.
Yep, I was waiting for it. I was like, I was about to be disappointed if it wasn't there.
Yeah, and Colin Sparling.
What's going on, everybody?
Yep, and we're just here to talk to you for the next 2 hours or so.
Get hype.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you guys about a series that I've been binging as of late, because unemployment has its perks, right?
Oh man, fun employment, am I right?
Right, fun employment. Yeah. Don't worry, it's only temporary. Just recently got a job. But anyway, so Avatar: The Last Airbender, man. Fondly remember that one from my childhood.
Yes.
And never had I really had the chance to go back and just finish it, because I'd seen most of it, and I saw earlier this week that it was free on Amazon Prime. And being an Amazon Prime customer, I was like, I'm going to take advantage of that. And wow, I'm glad I did. That show is great. It's held up great. Animation's great. And everything about it, like the story, the characters, just 10 out of 10, man. They really know how to do it. It's probably the best non-Japanese anime. I don't even know how big of a category that is.
Yeah, it's for sure Western developed. It's so good, man. So I'm shocked to hear that you had never seen the finale until just this last week.
No, we'll say I haven't finished it yet. I got about half of season 3 left. So I still got to get there.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, no spoilers then, I guess, for Colin for what, a 10, 15-year-old series?
Yeah, it is old. It originally aired on Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Season 1, episode 1 aired in 2005.
Oh man,
yeah,
12 years,
and the series ended in 2008, I believe.
So I share your joy in this series, and I came to this very, very late in the game. Probably about 2-3 years ago was the first time I ever actually sat down and watched one episode. And then my wife and I proceeded to finish the entire series in about 2-3 days. It was that awesome. Yeah, it was that awesome.
It's so good.
I'm not a huge anime fan either. And I don't know if this would qualify as an anime. I'm not sure what the criteria are, but no, it's fantastic. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the storyline and just the character arc and seeing it through the finale. So when you get there, man, like let me know because it's so good what they did there. They also have made a lot of appearances in like Reddit and stuff. I love this because Avatar's gone now, right, for a number of years, and people kind of want it back. But they don't want. I mean, Legend of Korra is kind of like the spinoff from that series, but people really want more Avatar: The Last Airbender is what they really, really want. And so on Reddit, like I'll see this on the front page every now and again. There'll be like things that disappear when you need them the most, and it'll be like your wallet, then your phone, then your keys, and then it's like Aang, who's the last character or who's the main character of Avatar. So I just thought that was funny too. But it's good stuff, man. How far in are you again? You said the third season?
Like halfway through the third season. Definitely like my favorite, I think one of my favorite episodes so far, because it got to me so bad, was it's the episode titled Stories from Ba Sing Se. And so it's like, I don't know if you remember, Jack, but it's the episode where it's just a bunch of vignettes like of the different characters and what's going on while they're in Ba Sing Se. And it's just kind of a filler episode, but there's a particular part where it follows General Iroh, and he like it's like basically him just leading a bunch of people down like a good path and just like giving people advice. And then that particular part ends with him at a tree like basically putting flowers in front of a picture of his son because he had died because it was his birthday. Yeah, dude, and I was like, dude, it hit me so hard. I was like,
there are some real feel moments there, and it's very engaging. And did you get to the episode yet that paid tribute to the dead voice actor as well?
That's the same one.
Is that okay? Yeah, that's
exactly the very same one. Yep.
Oh yeah, no, it was real, man. It was real, and that character wasn't like written off the show. Like they carried him on, but the voice actor changed, obviously, because the original voice actor passed.
Right, because so Mako, what that's his name, was also the voice actor for Aku and Samurai Jack, if I recall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so they changed voice actors for him as well, obviously, for the last season that they just did a couple months ago. Awesome. So. Yeah, so you can hear the similarities in voice for sure. But yeah, General Iroh, favorite character so far for sure.
Did you see the sorry Robert, I know you're kind of out on the sidelines of this conversation, but Colin, did you see the Secret Tunnel episode?
Yeah, Secret Tunnel.
So
dude,
good.
The music is 10 out of 10. It's so good.
Yeah, no, just great sense of humor. You can tell it's Western developed. There's no like real dubbing or subbing obviously needed. It was a great animated series, one of my favorites of all time. That's not to say that the movie really holds up to the lineage. So what have you heard about this stupid movie by M. Night Shyamalan, by the way?
Yeah, it's hell of a director at the helm. I've never actually seen the movie because I never bothered, just because everyone talked about how terrible it was. I don't know if it was like Dragon Ball Evolution levels of bad, but
I've heard like Dragon Ball was better.
You heard Dragon Ball was better?
Yeah, it was the actual movie, like with the white dude as Goku.
Yeah, it's
I heard that movie is actually better than the Avatar: Last Airbender movie.
Are you telling me a movie where people bully a fucking alien from outer space and call him Geeko, like he's a geek, but his name's Goku. So Geeko is better than anything else.
I would almost put all my money behind it that Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the worst, most least faithful to the fan base as well, adapted to cinema film probably in history. I'm telling you, it's that terrible.
I don't know, man. I mean, I got 10 minutes into Dragon Ball Evolution. I was like, this is the most disgraceful thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Have you seen the PSP game?
I have, actually.
Yeah.
There's a PSP video game, yes.
That game is a gem. That game is so... I'm so happy it exists.
Are you?
It's so bad.
Oh my-
What's
like-
the full... Do you guys know the full name of that game?
No.
I can't
Dragon
remember.
Ball Evolution, I don't remember the full name.
Okay,
That's
but
actually
it's only
the
on,
name, actually.
It's only on PSP, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so people can look this up, but man, the animation is just... Mwah. Oh, it's so good in the worst way possible.
Dude, like, why?
Didn't it use the Budokai engine, though? If I remember right?
No, well, so it was like not photorealistic graphics, but it was going for a more realistic art style.
Oh, God.
And so
and
it
the
was like,
animation,
yeah.
the animation, there isn't any animation either in like the storylines. It's just like basically someone holding up like two like photographs of the actors, like, and like when they get in a fight, they just go like this. It's like somebody mashing two photographs together.
Oh my God, I didn't know it was that bad.
It's really I implore you and just watch a YouTube video on that.
So speaking of Dragon Ball Evolution, I forgot to mention this, but I read an article the other day, and I think it was actually like at least a year old, but turns out the writer who wrote the script for Dragon Ball Evolution apologized. Like, he came out and he's like, I'm so sorry for like letting this happen. Like, he was not a Dragon Ball fan whatsoever. This dude would like, he completely admitted that he was in it for the money, because he still made a fuck ton of money out of getting this, like doing the script.
Yeah.
He
made
got like
his.
400 or 500K or some shit for doing the script. And like, so like the dude's like, yeah, I was in it for the money, and I will never ever do that again, because I saw how rabid the fans were. And I mean, I've gotten death threats. I've had my address outed and everything. Like,
speaking of death threats here, like I'm worried I'm gonna be raked over the coals here. I think I said Aang's name wrong in Avatar. It's actually Aang, but in the movie they pronounce it as Ong. That's where I got that from.
Wait, that's how bad the like adaptation is. They
mispronounced the main character, Avatar himself. They mispronounce his name the whole movie. They get everyone's race wrong as well, by the way. Where have you heard that before? So it's just everything is completely wrong with that. So Avatar: The Last Airbender, the film, stay the fuck away from. But the series is 10 out of 10. One of my favorite animated series.
You guys
ever.
ready to see the James Cameron's Avatar sequels? All of them? All 6
That's
of
very
them?
confusing. Yeah. There's all these avatars going around everywhere. Yeah. And aren't they releasing those like, like 4 in a row or something like that? Stupid.
Dude, James Cameron's like, yeah, so Avatar 2 actually isn't coming out until 2019. And he's got like 3 or 4 more planned.
It's supposed to come out 2017, right?
I thought it was next year, but I could be wrong.
It's still
I don't know why. Like, the movie was like, for its time, it was pretty good. I didn't think it was anything great. You're doing Pocahontas in CG form.
Yeah.
So
did you hear what he's trying to do with the next Avatar sequel? Like the experience he wants people to have in theaters? You guys hear about this?
Yeah, so it's like a brand new like digital, like, I don't know, some bullshit 4D technology. Or it's some crazy technology. I forget what it is. Jog my memory.
He wants people to have it be glassesless 3D.
That's what it was.
Every theater.
That's what it was.
For every person in every chair. Glassesless 3D. So he's like waiting for the technology to catch up, whatever, before he releases these films. Who knows if that's actually going to come to fruition?
It's going to be the new 3DS XL sensor, but like on a ginormous scale.
Yeah, I just don't see how it's even physically possible where they would do that, where everyone can see it.
No, you know what they'd do? Like, do you guys know how the 3DS 3D works?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like strips
it's like
of screens
it's
on
like
top
2
of each
images,
other.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 screens, yeah.
Yeah. So what if they just build theaters like that, but there's only like one line of seats, like literally just like dead center of the cinema, and they just go straight up to the screen.
There's 12 seats per theater. Yeah.
That's,
or
oh my
even
God.
even better, what if they just, when you walk in, what if they just hand you a 3DS?
Yeah. You just watch it on that.
Watch it on the 3DS. Oh my God.
Kick your feet up. Your arm's going to get tired, but
dude, watch that at a whole like what 240p.
I know, right? Yeah. This is the new experience in theaters with Nintendo 3DS.
My God.
Yeah, tickets
Dude,
are like $200. They make you buy the console.
It's exclusive.
Dude, actually, so there's an art museum in France where they would actually give you a 3DS game. So you put the 3DS game, the Louvre, and they would it would basically give you a tour on your 3DS of the place while you'd go down around, scan the paintings, and it would tell you all.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat though. Like that's the only time I've ever seen it at a 3DS application like that.
A guided tour, and that's a cool idea, but they could have just made an app. So
yeah, they really could.
Because everyone already has a phone already. So I thought that was,
right.
I mean, a cool idea, and I do encourage, innovation with in the mobile space, but I just don't think they really oh, wait a second, everyone already has a phone, so let's just make an app, guys.
Yeah, you could do that.
It seems like more of a Japanese thing.
In France.
What?
In France, a Japanese thing. In France.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, clearly.
All right.
Yeah, the Statue of Liberty in Osaka.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. Yeah.
But that'd be a French thing in Japan.
So, do you guys know how weird it is? Okay, how do I even begin to approach this next kind of weird tangent I'm going to go on?
Oh, no.
Okay, so we're all American.
Sure.
Robert, are you American?
Yeah, American citizen.
Okay,
Dude, we're
American citizen.
all American rejects.
Okay.
No, stop the podcast. None of that. We need to talk.
I'm just
Colin.
gonna see myself out now.
Colin, we need to talk.
Oh, Colin,
Bye,
that was a
guys.
good run, man.
I'm
You
out.
got to episode 11. It was a good run. So where the hell was I going? Okay. Oh yeah. So we all, we speak English, right? That's our language. Okay.
See.
So when you hear, Kyoto, right? At least me, I'll speak for myself and tell me if you agree or disagree. I think, oh, that sounds like a Japanese city, kind of an exotic name, fun to say, of course. Kyoto, cool, right? Then you hear Tokyo, and you're like, oh yeah, Tokyo. That's obviously the biggest city in Japan. That's a very cool name, exotic. That sounds like a place I want to go. It just to the English ear, it has a very very cool sound to me. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just saying, are you with me?
Sure.
Okay.
So if you actually speak Japanese, Kyoto
Which I do
just
too.
means capital city, is all it means.
Right.
And then Tokyo actually means, I think, Eastern capital.
Yep.
I think is what it means. And it's oh, that's if you speak Japanese, it's the most boring, most vanilla, who cares?
It'd be
at all. They're literally almost non-names.
It'd be like calling Washington D.C. capital city.
Yeah,
It's
literally, and
capital.
it's oh, right. And so I'm just that kind of takes away a little bit of the mysteriousness of it to me.
Okay, so is that your point?
Yeah, I'm just oh well, I just romanticize Kyoto and Tokyo in my head, and then I'm just oh, they're just called, they're not really cool names. They're just called, this is our center capital, this is our eastern capital. Okay, you don't think that's mildly interesting at all?
I mean, it's semi interesting. I've taken 3 semesters of Japanese, so I kind of figured out that everything it sounds fancy in Japanese, but when you look in the actual meaning in Japanese, it's really, it's so null and
then China too. I'm sure Robert already knows this. China, the word China, you think, if again to English ear, it's okay, that's obviously just a foreign land way on the other side of the world. But China just means center nation. That's their name. So they just call themselves the center nation, which I think is crazy that any one country would consider themselves a center nation. I say this again coming from America, but you get the point. That's just the name of China. That's just center nation. And we're sitting here oh,
yeah.
I don't know. You guys don't seem to be on board with this conversation.
Shouldn't we be Central America?
Again,
right?
It's weird.
Shouldn't we be Central America?
Well,
Come on.
I guess we're north of the equator, so who knows?
I don't know.
Nah, but we're central enough, man.
I'm disenfranchised with these naming conventions here, is all I'm trying to say.
See, I thought what you were steering the conversation toward was that, did you realize that Tokyo and Kyoto are just switched syllables of each other?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, so you mean how it's Tokyo and you literally just swap the syllables and it's Kyoto?
I guess yo is just city in Japanese. Is that right?
No clue.
Colin, you took Japanese.
Yo, I don't know.
Okay.
No,
Yo.
I don't think so.
Well, it'd be Kyo,
Okay.
but yeah. Anyway, let's talk about some video games. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Japan. Let's talk about video games that may have
I
come
just
from
want
Japan.
the words to mean something cool, okay? I want them to mean something cool. Give me my weeb wants, all right?
Well, did you know that Lisbon and Paris both also mean capital city in their respective?
Shut up. I didn't. Are you
kidding.
serious? Oh, no. This world sucks.
You know, kind of like the capital of England is capital because we speak English. You know, we get that one.
Okay. All right, let's not get crazy now.
Yeah. All right. So,
Anyways, video games.
let's talk about some video games.
Oh my god, it's time to go fast. Let's
Yes,
go.
I want to talk about Sonic Mania. Yeah,
I see what you did there, Colin, and I appreciate it.
I don't
I
get
love
it.
Oh,
you, Jack.
We're going fast, Robert. Come
Oh,
on,
I'm going
snap,
fast.
snap.
Okay, gotta go.
Yes,
Sonic
go.
Mania is good. Okay, what's next? Jack, what'd you play?
No, go ahead and talk about it. I have words for Sonic Mania.
Okay.
I have words.
Yeah, so-
Man, maybe stupid down from a Sonic level to more of a Knuckles level.
Knuckles. Yeah. All right, gotcha. When do I get to punch things though?
Right now.
Cool.
I mean-
So Sonic Mania, I got it on the Switch yesterday when it came out, and I've already beaten it once. Like the story mode, I've played through it once with like Sonic and Tails. I really like it. Actually, I think it's very fun. I think
What'd you play it on?
the Switch, the Nintendo Switch. Yeah. So it's pretty fun. It's definitely like if you enjoyed Sega Genesis Sonic, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, this will be right up your alley. Like if you want more of that, Sonic Mania is most definitely more of that, both for the good and bad, you know, because like Sonic games have always kind of had like their own shortcomings, you know, the idea of like I want to keep going fast, but it's also like it's a platformer, so there are times when you can't go fast and you have to methodically, you know, like jump from platform to platform or else you die. That kind of stuff doesn't really benefit from the momentum system of Sonic because, you know, it's not like when you press right, you start walking right. It's like you start accelerating to the right, which I think is a very different, like, mental process. It almost kind of gives it a, like, every level is an ice level from Mario feel when you're, like, trying to precisely platform. And that's just the problem Sonic has always had. And I think Sonic Mania kind of hammers that more into your head, right? But if you still enjoy Sonic, which I've enjoyed previous Sonic games, like this is more of it, and it's so good, and the music is so good. Like, Jack, you played a bit of it, right?
Yeah, you played it on your Switch, and I played it on PS4. I think in 2 weeks it's coming out on PC as well, and I
Yes.
paid the full retail, which was $19.99. No, I played it the day it came out, Tuesday, and I agree mostly with what you're saying. I didn't get to beat it, though. Maybe you can tell me how far in I am. I made it to the airship. How much longer do I have?
Flying Battery Zone.
Yeah.
You are about halfway through. There are 12 zones.
Okay. I'm stuck still on that spider boss, and I'm really annoyed.
Oh wait,
by
no,
but
that's maybe like the 4th zone actually, or 5th one. But
out of how many?
out of 12.
Oh, okay. I'm not even halfway
Yeah.
through. Well, no, the game is fun, and it was very surprising to me as well, like how it started. I shouldn't have been surprised, but it literally starts like you're booting up Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on Genesis, just in 16:9 aspect ratio. The music's exactly the same. The way they do this is they divide each level kind of into 2 acts, and the first act they'll have the old school music, and then the second act they'll have a remix of that. It definitely feels like one of the best fan-made games I've ever played, because there's no shortage of fan-made games online, but this one's actually officially sanctioned and licensed by Sega, which is so cool. It's a passion project. You can tell these guys really love Sonic, and I mean, if you ask me, I don't think Sonic's been good since the 90s, really, since maybe Sonic 2 was the peak for me. But no, it's very surprising, and also like it's surprising to say that I guess this is sort of a spoiler to say this, but there are potential spoilers in this game, like surprises. Like I was genuinely like delighted by some of the surprises I saw.
Are you talking about boss battles?
Not just that, but I'm talking about. I'm trying to be very vague here, but the game switches genres for a couple seconds.
Oh, yeah, that I actually knew about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. So I'll leave it vague for the audience, but I was not expecting that at all, and I was just literally like, oh, now I'm doing this now. Okay, that's neat. The bosses remind me very much of some of the Gunstar Hero bosses, one of the best Sega Genesis games ever made by Treasure. But no, I like it. I don't know if I love it though. But if you are looking for more, if you're looking for the best 2D Sonic game, this might be it. Especially with 16-bit pseudo 32-bit graphics. Yeah, it's definitely something I plan on playing more. But I'm like, at this point now, I'm kind of stuck. And what I hate is when you die at the boss, because you have to play 2 acts of a whole level, and the levels are big. I'll say the levels are much larger than you would expect. They need to be this large when you're moving at this rate. So it kind of affords the opportunity to do more roller coaster-esque kind of level design. Exactly. So the thing that sucks, though, for me is when you die at a boss, you don't restart anywhere near that boss. You have to go all the way back to the beginning of Act 1 of that stage. So you have a solid 20, 30 minutes of gameplay before you get back to that boss.
Well, that's if you lose all your lives.
Exactly. But then when you do, and you only start with 3 again, it's very old school kind of Genesis style like that, Yeah. So I'm at this point now where I'm like, really just trying to like finesse my way back to that boss, maybe die 3 times, have to do 2 levels again, then go back to the boss. So I'm kind of in this little rut here where I really want to enjoy and move on with the game, but it's like just life is running into, time conflicts and all that. I just don't have time to sit here and just bash my head against this wall forever. That being said, I do plan on beating it at some point, but I wasn't able to before the podcast today.
Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from, because I remember hating that boss at the end of Flying Battery Zone. Like, that boss is...
Oh, you too?
Yeah, it was... I died... Mm-hmm. I definitely had to, like, restart a couple times on that zone. Mm-hmm. I think there's maybe only 1 or 2 other bosses where I've kind of felt that way. And it kind of just feels challenging in the same way that just, like, old school Sonic games were, Like, they weren't necessarily easy games, especially toward the end of each game.
I don't even remember, like, bosses being a huge component of Sonic games.
No, if I remember,
were they really ever?
I don't. No, not at least not in the old school, like side scrolling.
Okay, it's
Genesis.
It's a welcome change, and I do appreciate like the mechanics. Like every boss battle is varied, and they're all they all have their own kind of not gimmick, but they all have their own strategy you need to employ in order to win. And so I appreciate the variety. There's so much effort. There's so much love put into this game that even it rubs off on me a little bit, a noted kind of Sonic detractor. But no, I'm glad I got it. I definitely want to support that effort. And like I said, I'm going to beat it. So what did you do after you beat it? Did you like want to play more again, or did you? I just made another save and started as Knuckles to see how that feels. He feels a little weird, honestly, but he always has. He always has, yeah. And Donkey, the YouTube personality, he has made a video on this game as well, and he said that as soon as he beat the game, he just went and started over again with the other character, just like you said. So that's cool. That's the mark of a good game. Yeah, it's definitely got like a lot of replay value because you can choose to play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, or like Sonic and Tails together, kind of like in Sonic 2, right? So, and is it 2 players simultaneous as well in that mode? No, not in that mode, but there's the competition mode where you can like you have 2 people and they like run through the same stage, and like it's basically a race.
Yeah, I saw that it has a split, a split screen.
Yeah. And I think it's like stretched too, like it was, like the image is stretched like it was back in the day. That's kind of a homage. Cool. Apparently, this game actually has a lot of homages. Is that the plural of that? Anyway, I don't know. Homage. No, so that's definitely not it. Do you guys remember how this game was revealed? I don't. It was at the god-awful, Sonic 25th anniversary event that was really bad. Is this flying under both of your radars right now?
No, I know what you're talking about. The one where everyone started saying the one of the themes from a Sonic Adventure 2? Maybe. I know the same one. Oh, it's just because they brought in the band that does a lot of the music for Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, because at that point it was rock and pop rock, look at this hip soundtrack, bro. Guys, you're describing right now just sounds like every furry convention ever. Moving around at the speed of sound. Rainforest. Yeah. No, so they brought in the band Crush 40 that does a lot of the soundtrack, big set piece soundtracks of
Adventure and Adventure 2. And, like, it's cool when it's like a good rock band, like where they, they sing part of the chorus and then they like put the mic up to someone in the crowd and they sing the other part of the chorus. Like it's really cool when like a beloved band does that, but it's really lame when Crush 40 does that.
Yeah, you're not Bon Jovi, man. Settle down.
Yeah, so it was a lot of that. It was very uncomfortable and cringy and all, but that's how they revealed Sonic Mania. And I believe Sonic Forces. But apparently throughout the whole event there was like this buzzing noise, like feedback, but like very slight, but it was there. And apparently there's an area in Sonic Mania where if you go to it you can faintly hear that exact same buzzing noise, and it's just put in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, it's real. There's an article on Polygon. Yeah. So it's a good game that has a lot of like homages to previous Sonic games. Like a lot of the boss battles are like, some are remixed versions of like old boss battles where like maybe the first half of the fight is the same that you remember, but then the second half like has a second stage to it or something like that. And then they have a lot of like brand new, like never before seen unique boss battles that I think are for the most part pretty fun. Some of them feel a little bit cheap, but for the most part they're all pretty good to play against.
Yeah. It's of note, really, that this isn't the first time that Sega has tried to cash in on the fandom of Sonic, right? Like they came out with Sonic 4 and they tried to do multiple episodes and nobody really liked those. They were crappy. And then this fan-made game sort of surfaced and Sega's like, you know what? Yeah, do you guys make this game? Here's the license. Here's the resources you need to make the actual Sonic game. And this is really a fan-made game. By the fans of Sonic, for the fans of Sonic. It's really cool. It's coming out on multiple platforms. So it's really exciting, actually. And for someone, me, who didn't even know this game was coming out until last week, completely like a complete surprise for me. Like this is it's something special for sure. I think if you're at least a little bit of a fan of Sonic, I think it's worth at least checking out.
Yeah.
It's cool too because it's in 16:9, right, instead of 4:3. And I always felt like playing those old Sonic games. I always wished you could like pan out the camera.
Yeah.
It just felt like you couldn't see enough in front of you to really like react, So I always struggled with that. And so with this new view, it helps out a little bit.
Yeah, and I think like just for the sake of getting the name out there, because they definitely deserve their recognition for it. The developers that Sega reached out to were Christian Whitehead, who did a lot of like recoding for Sonic CD and getting that released for modern platforms.
Getting it on mobile too, I think is where he worked on that.
Yeah, and then they reached out to the studios Pagoda West Games and Headcanon. So those are like kind of the three main key elements involved in like creating this game. I wouldn't be surprised, of course, if they ripped assets directly off the old Genesis games, but for the most part it's all like really solid and really well done, and it's all very inventive. Even if you're going through it and you're like, oh yeah, I played through Chemical Plant Zone before, I get it, like whatever, but they always have a surprise to throw at you. It's so worth playing through. It's
Sonic.
Incredible.
He looks. It is incredible. Yeah, he looks familiar, but he also looks like the logical progression, like the way his sprite looks and animates from Sonic 3 or from Sonic CD. He looks like he's, they just made another one of those like the year after, right? And it's like, but it's the best one yet. And I'll leave with that thought is that I think this is probably the best 2D Sonic that exists right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I cannot recommend it enough. And I'm just going to give a little plug here. I actually have a review of Sonic Mania coming out for a publication called Game Luster coming out pretty soon. So you can check that out if you want to see my full thoughts on the game.
Is it Game Lustre, like Lustre? STER.com.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Cool.
Colin, you've been playing a little bit of Hyper Light Drifter, right?
Yeah, man. So honestly, you were talking about, the last game you guys were talking about, Sonic Mania. It came out on the Switch, and this is another game that I kind of wish was on the Switch too. Hyper Light Drifter.
I'm sad to hear it's not.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised it's not yet. It seems like one of those games where they're gonna just magically drop it on the Switch one day when nobody notices. But it's like, hey, by the way, it's on the Switch. But anyway, yeah, Hyper Light Drifter is a 2D action role playing game made by the dudes over at Heart Machine. And it's released on Windows, OS X, actually, Mac, Linux, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Ouya.
Ooh, yeah. Man.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is not even a thing anymore. But is that where it came out first?
Oh God, please not.
I hope not.
No, man. Like Tower Fall Ascension, if you remember, that game's really awesome actually on PS4. It debuted on Ouya. I remember that. And it was like exclusive for like 6 months, something stupid like that.
Oh man, that's gross.
Yeah, it's sad. Anyways, is that where this debuted first, Colin?
According to Wikipedia, not so. Let's see, it says Windows, OS X, and Linux, March 31st, 2016, and then PlayStation 4, Xbox One, July 26th. All it says for Ouya is 2016. It doesn't say a specific date, so that's weird.
I mean, I do remember it coming out first on like PC because I was watching it on there. So
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, it's an indie game, so one would assume that it's a PC first kind of deal.
Yeah.
But anyway, the game itself is wow. What a cool game, man. Just like. It's one of those games that I kind of heard about for a while, made a few lists that I'd watch on YouTube from a couple of YouTubers. I think I saw it through, it was thrown into like a list of Souls-like games, like Dark Souls-esque type games. I would say it's more like a 2D Zelda game, but like a little bit more extreme. I mean, you have like a dash ability and you have a gun. That's like the two big differences. A lot more blood and gore for sure. Yeah. Like it's a dark game. I think not dark in looks, but dark in content.
In tone.
Yeah, in tone. Yeah. That's what I meant. Thank you. But this game, like, even though it has a very simplistic graphics, like 16-bit style graphic style, like it's got like a presentation to it. Like the game starts out and you're shown like a vision that your character has, and it's like very detailed illustrations. And it's very dark. Like your character's basically getting sucked into darkness, and you see the world basically get destroyed. And basically the story of the game is it's very loose plot. There's no dialogue. It's just like you talk to characters, and they show you like basically 2 or 3 images, and you had to figure out what it could mean.
What they're saying to you, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They make funny noises too when they talk like
exactly, yeah. They make like pixelated versions of the parents from the Peanuts type noises. Anyway, so yeah, like the game is just it's very savvy in the way it presents itself, and it's actually very colorful. A lot of neon colors going on. It's also complemented with that with a very synth-wavy soundtrack, but the soundtrack is very subdued in that it's got like a filter, like a 16-bit music filter over it. So I don't know, it's like, something about it is just like different from anything I've ever heard. But the biggest thing about this game is like it has like a sense of adventure to it. Like it makes you want to keep exploring and find out what the hell happened. And more so than that, the game is hard. Like it's difficult. Yeah. It's hard as hell. They're not afraid to throw like 30, 40 enemies at you on screen at once later in the game. Yeah. So you're dashing and slashing your sword all over the place. So yeah, I mean it's a hell of a game, man, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm stuck in a boss battle right now, oddly enough, that I just cannot get past because the bosses have like, I don't know, 10 times the amount of health a regular enemy would. So, but yeah, what do you think of it, Jack?
So I'm early in the game still. I'm only like through the beginning parts and then like the eastern kind of palace zone. And
you chose like the hardest direction to go in.
Oh, is that what's wrong? Okay. So,
yeah.
So no, the one thing that sticks out to me, I mean, there's so many things to say about this game. It ticks all the kind of indie boxes for me. So the graphical style, like you said, a bunch of neon colors here, very stylish, very reminiscent of a Sword and Sorcery. If you guys ever played that on iOS.
Yeah, it actually mentions something about that in the Wikipedia page.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, no, that's definitely what it kind of harkens back to for me. And Sword and Sorcery, by the way, is the game that was developed by the people that are now developing Below, which was announced like 4 years ago. Still is not out, by the way. So that's another tangent, but whenever Below is going to come out. So anyways, Hyper Light Drifter, another thing that really I found enjoyable with the game is the controls, how tight they are, how good the abilities feel. When you're getting new items and new weapons and things like that. It just is all also masterfully very well animated. And that's like another kind of differentiator with this game. The animation is awesome. And the character, it communicates so much to you without saying any words at all. And so, yeah, I'm having fun with the game. Like I said, it's kind of very, very, very deeply embedded in my pile of shame right now of games that are like just every week as the weeks go by, I'm just getting buried more and more by all the literally thousands of new releases that come out. I want to say like last week, like 2,000 or like 200 games came out on Steam like on Tuesday.
I mean,
stupid
really?
like that.
I'd believe
That
it.
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, honestly, the way Steam's going, man, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
true.
like I agree with you, man. It's like the controls in Hyper Light Drifter so tight, so satisfying. There's a lot of visual cues going on in the animations, which I very much appreciate. So, have you done the Chain Dash challenge yet, Jack?
Have not.
So, do you know the store in the first town where you can go and you can buy upgrades for your dashes and stuff?
Yeah.
So, you know how there's like that big room right next to the where you can buy that stuff?
Okay.
So, in that room, once you buy the Chain Dash, it doesn't really tell you, but if you chain dash, you have to like do like a consistent combo, and if you do like 100 of them, a door opens and you get like a secret item.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And then if you do 800 more, you get another
800?
secret item. Yeah,
Only
And
800. Okay.
let me tell you, I spent over an hour doing this challenge, just sitting there getting, because you have to time these dashes just perfectly, and you have to make sure you don't run into the walls. And it's the most daunting thing, but it's like one of those things
You
where like I
did it?
can't stop. Yeah, I can't stop not doing it. Like yeah, like
Robert, this
I didn't get
reminds me
the
of-
800 one, but
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
no, I got the 100 one. That's all I could stand.
Ooh, this reminds me of jumping rope in, I think it's Final Fantasy 9. You have to like jump rope like 500 times or something stupid like that, and you get some Chocobo egg or something stupid like that.
Did you say Chocobo?
What? Chocobo?
Chocobo.
The Chocobos.
Yo, this
No, I
this
learned.
is Chocobo.
Yeah, it's like
This is Chocobo Shaddix from Papa Roach.
No, I definitely said Chocobo. I learned that word wrong, and I just can't like get away from it. And just like kind of how when I'm in a first-person game, and if I'm using a controller, I hit down on the right stick to look up, and so I'm an inverted Y-axis guy. And so apparently people aren't
garbage.
doing that. What do you mean garbage? Okay.
Inverted controls
No,
are disgusting.
Dude. What? It is not disgusting. It's the natural way. It's actually the one correct way to do this. Okay. If you're going to be on a controller.
Nah.
So you're
I'm not playing.
you
I'm
so
not
I'm
playing
talk-
I'm not flying a plane, bro. That's not what's happening.
Yes,
right now.
you are. You're flying your head.
No, wait. Whoa,
You're
hold
flying.
on.
You're moving the
We
camera
just got
in your
into the
head.
inverted versus
Hold.
non-inverted debate.
Hold on. Wait.
You're
are you,
not-
Jack, are you telling me that when you walk, you subconsciously think, oh, I'm flying my head over to the kitchen
No,
now?
I don't think that.
Dude,
but when I'm playing a
no, when you're-
game, it's natural to
Holy
like tilt
fuck.
up. Like look
Dude,
up.
nobody's
What are you doing?
walking behind. Like, there's not a stick sticking out of the back of your head, and someone's like pulling down and pushing up on it behind you when you're walking. That's not how this works.
No one says look at the ceiling, tilt your head up. They say tilt your head back to look
Or-
at the ceiling.
Or they just say, look up,
Yeah.
to look
But
at the ceiling.
Okay, which way do you tilt your head when you look at the ceiling? You tilt
well,
it forward?
I tilt it backwards,
your
but
knees?
I'm thinking to
Exactly.
myself,
Oh, okay.
I'm
Exactly.
looking up. And if I want to look at the floor, I look down.
Listen. When you play the fucking opening of the original Halo for the Xbox, and you do the thing where they fucking tell you which way to look, they tell you to look up, and then they tell you to look down. They don't tell you to fucking tilt your head back. They don't
But
tell you to lean your head forward.
Okay, I'm willing to have this debate with you right now, but what I'm saying is they're seeing which way you look up. Like they're seeing if you hit up or down, and then they're having it inverted for you or not. It's actually a good way to do that.
Yeah, it's clever.
the way Halo handles it. But when they say look up, no matter if you hit up or down, the camera will go up. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what? Here's where this all really stems from. Okay, now I understand I'm a minority, like other in other aspects of life. I'm a minority here as well. So I understand, and it's because I grew up playing Pilot Wings on SNES. Okay, and again, you're flying, so you're when you want to lift off, you hit back on the control pad, and then if you want to dive your airplane or whatever else you're flying, you push up. So I just kind of learned that mentally and just kind of always extended through to that, through the other console generations. But the thing about it mentally is if you think about the right stick, the look stick, if you think about it as I'm moving my eyes, then the way you guys are doing it makes sense. Then yeah, you put your eyes up to look up and to the right, you go up and to the right. But if you're thinking about it as your head, like I am, then it makes sense more to pull back to go up. So trust me, guys. I actually just struggled with this yesterday. when I was playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I know we talked about that, and I was playing that on PlayStation Now, and I had to go into the controls and like invert everything because it was all just default. My life would be easier, okay, if I wasn't this wired this way. Because I wouldn't have to, but for every game I have to go into the options and change it. So I understand. Like, I wish I could be you, but I can't be you guys.
Jack, can I ask you a very important question I think will define the future of our friendship?
Ah, gosh. The pressure.
Do you identify as a fighter jet?
Okay, I don't really know if that's a serious question. But the coolest job in the world is to be a fighter jet pilot. That is the coolest job in the world. And I wish I could do it. And if I had 20/20 vision, I would probably join the Air Force.
I never said fighter jet pilot. I just said fighter jet.
Are you referencing that anime? Have you seen this anime where it's like, okay, I want to say it's like 20 like chibi female.
Oh, the girls who are also
where they turn into the jet planes or something like that.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about? What's that called?
No, I don't know what that's called. But no, what I'm saying is that inverted controls are for people who are playing games that have planes, not like Halo. Like when
but it translates for me.
I guess. I mean, like when I play Call of Duty, I don't think like, okay, let's guide this plane over to this mortar now, and then I can shoot my gun. You know, like I think I'm guiding a soldier with eyeballs that look up and down.
But you don't even aim a gun with your eyeballs. They tell you not to do that. Well, you aim a gun with your shoulders.
Well, yeah, that's
with
true.
Your arms.
But there's only so much you can do with a controller and a man.
I feel bad for you guys. I sympathize with your up to look up on the right stick. But hey, I agree to disagree.
All right. Well, speaking of first-person shooters, Jack, do you want to talk about Overwatch and how you use inverted controls in Overwatch because you're bad?
No, I use No, okay. Do not paint me into this corner, man. All right. That's only when I'm on a controller. When I'm on mouse and keyboard, like then all bets are off. Then it just feels fine, right? You push forward and to the right to look up and to the right. Like I'm with you there. Okay, so. We have that branch to sit next to each other on. So anyways, Overwatch this last weekend, I am so ingratiated in this world that Blizzard has created that now I have resorted to not only just playing it in pretty much all of my free time, but now I'm watching professional games. In the World Cup, the last group stage of the World Cup in Los Angeles was this weekend, and I swear to you, I watched probably 12 hours of professional Overwatch over this weekend. I know I watched US versus Germany. I watched the UK. Man, it was really kind of inspiring to see like professional Overwatch players. And man, they're all like, some of them are like 15 to like 20. That's kind of like the sweet spot for pro gaming, at least in FPS games. And so it was just really cool to watch. But really, I just wanted to kind of come to you guys and say that help me please, because I need to play other games, but it's like sucking me in so bad that I'm now actually watching like professional matches, and it's like I'm really sad, or I guess I should be happy, because BlizzCon isn't until November, so that's when these final 8 teams are going to meet in a tournament style and like face off to find the Overwatch World Cup champion at BlizzCon this year. They are going to do a live stream where they're just going to basically randomly assign the matches. So they're just going to put 8 numbers in a hat, assign the numbers to each country, and then kind of draw them out randomly to see who you're going to go up against. But man, heavy hitters like South Korea is obviously the favorite. China, obviously. America is kind of up there. There are like 3 or 4 undefeated teams. America's not one of them. America did lose one. They're 11-1. But after seeing Great Britain, man, they look super, super strong. They're completely undefeated. And the thing about it is none of their games have even been close. You know, they've all like stomped everybody. So I got to say that they got to be one of the favorites to get in the Final Four here soon. So that's really it. That's all I kind of want to say about that. But again, like Blizzard is so good at doing, they are releasing even more content as the weeks go by for Overwatch. And now they, in the PTR, the public test realm, which is free for owners of the game, you're able to now play deathmatch mode, and they've added a new special map for that called Chateau Gouliard, and it's a mansion in France somewhere, I guess, and it's like a Widowmaker level. That sounds like a
fancy cheese.
It's a Quake style kind of match, or Quake style kind of map, and in terms of lore, in terms of lore, I think that's like the mansion Widowmaker lived in before she became Widowmaker.
It's funny to me you know this stuff, but okay, I'll go.
That's
Cool.
that's the place she lived before she ended up killing her husband. So I guess that's her husband's mansion.
Dark. Colin's face right now.
Yeah. No, so that's what that map is in terms of the lore, and in terms of like the way it plays and like its location, it looks very like straight out of Quake. You know, like death matchy. There's a lot of jump pads and like height differences and stuff, which I don't know why you'd build a mansion with jump pads, but hey, it works for a first person shooter, right?
It's weird. Have you guys played that map at all?
No.
Okay.
Man, I don't play shitty games, all right?
Man.
Hey, whoa.
Now you're just trying to be provocative for the sake of being provocative, and I see through.
I think you guys have an addiction. I think this calls for an intervention.
I
Your
think
addiction has affected me in the following ways.
I think last
Robert
week's
definitely doesn't have an
podcast,
addiction, yeah.
Yeah, it proves I do not have an addiction to this game.
I can't have Robert care about this game anymore.
I think I'm speaking more towards Jack.
No, it's true. It's true. I fully admit it. I'm taking the proper steps, right? I'm admitting there's a problem.
12-step process.
Dude, you're gonna get home from work one day and you're gonna walk into your house and all the lights are gonna be off and it's just gonna be me and Robert sitting in your living room with Becky, and we're gonna turn on the light. Jack, please sit down. Your addiction has affected us in the following ways.
We've uninstalled your graphics drivers. You can't play this game anymore.
So I think it's worth noting, though, that console players can't play this map yet because PTR is only for PC so far. And it's only on the PTR. I don't know when it's going to hit the live servers yet. I don't think that's been decided. One thing I find interesting, granted I haven't played this mode, so I guess like I'm kind of speaking from the hip here, but I do find it interesting how when Overwatch first launched, like Jeff Kaplan was all about, like the lead game designer, he was all about how like, no, there's no way we'd add a deathmatch, you know, like it goes against the message of the game. The game's all about like teamwork and objective like focused gameplay where you guys work together to capture a point or push a payload. And then now, you know, over a year after its official release, it's like, hey guys, here's a deathmatch mode.
Yeah, to echo that, I'm really kind of sad they did this, actually. I'm not excited about this at all. This brings it more to like kind of cheapens the brand in a certain way, but I feel like they have enough pressure from the community to do something like this, apparently. But I wish they didn't. I don't like it. I'm not going to spend a significant amount of time in it. I'm definitely not going to do team deathmatch. It just reminds me, I mean, I have fond memories, right, of playing Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, all those old games, Quake and all those. Like, yeah, I have my memories there.
And inverted controls.
Exactly. No, mouse and keyboard. No, actually, no. That was on PS3. That was inverted controls. The correct way. Okay.
Do you invert your mouse too, you bastard?
We already went over this,
went
Colin.
over that.
Yeah.
No,
you're not paying attention, man.
If you're gonna beat a dead horse, beat it right.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Okay.
So, all right. I lost. Oh, I wish they didn't do this, and I'm not excited about this mode. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time in it. I tried it out. I won my very first match. I got the loot box from that arcade mode. That's really. It's really it, you know. But if they determine that they need that, then okay. But again, Overwatch is so unique to me. What it is now, what it is today in the base game, and is just it just does what it does better than any first person shooter I've ever played. And I was actually thinking about this as well as I'm watching like 12 hours of professional matches this weekend. I'm like, this is the most into a first person shooter I've ever been into my entire life. That's all the Call of Duties, Doom, Quake, any of those, Titanfall, any of these. This is the most I've ever dedicated myself to like one first person shooter, Team Fortress 2 included. This is it, full stop. But just the hours I put into it, and just how much I think about it outside of the game, like I'm in, man. It's bad.
Yeah, no, I kind of. Go ahead, Colin.
No, I was just gonna say I have a question. So do you think with the with them bringing in a deathmatch mode, do you think it's gonna pull the player base more towards it? Like, you think it's gonna pull a lot of the player base towards that deathmatch mode and take away a lot of players from those other modes that are usually played?
There's enough to go around, and I think the people, I'm not worried at all of like the player base being diluted. I think it's there as a fun aside, and it'll probably live mostly in arcade mode, as I understand, when it comes out. But I certainly do not. I don't think anyone wants to see that leak its way or leech its way into the professional aspect of the game. The competitive mode, really. I don't think anyone's asking for that, and I don't think the game was designed for that purpose when it first came out. So
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's just like a bolted on kind of whatever thing. But again, I'm not going to spend time with it really.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of those things where it's like a novelty thing, and I see it like based on what you guys are saying, it's going to be like one of those things where it's a novelty thing, so the player base spikes for a little bit, then it just takes a steep nosedive after a while.
Yeah, everyone will be curious, like because most people don't go into the PTR. A lot of people do, but most people don't. But when it actually does debut in the base game, I think people will be like, "Oh, this will be interesting," and then they'll kind of do what I did, spend a couple matches in there, and be like, "Oh, this is why I moved to Overwatch." Because it's not this, right? It reminds you of what you left. Yeah, this reminds you of what you left. Because isn't that all Call of Duty is? It's just team deathmatch. I mean, there's other modes here and there.
Capture the flag, King of the Hill, Seek and Destroy.
Yeah. They have a couple
isn't team
objectives.
deathmatch that's the bread and butter though?
Yeah,
of
for sure.
Call of Duty, right? Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
No thanks. Been there.
Hardcore team deathmatch.
No, I do have to agree with you about like deathmatch and Overwatch because it's just like the game doesn't even feel like it's built for that. You know what I mean? Like you can choose any hero you want, but like if you choose like I don't know, like Mercy, you're dead.
Right.
You're done.
Right. Yeah.
You can't even heal. Yourself.
I totally went up against Mercy's in that too. I was like, "Are you just trolling yourself? Like, what are you doing?"
In team deathmatch, I mean, it'll kind of work because I've heard that Mercy's ult instead of like reviving players, it like takes away the enemy's like score or something like that.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so they're at least tweaking her, and I'd assume maybe they've tweaked some of the other heroes to like kind of fit what deathmatch is, especially team deathmatch. But it's just like the game. Yes, there are a lot of characters built for like kill the other dude. Like Soldier, Reaper, Widowmaker, Hanzo. Right? They're all just about kill the other guy. But there are also the heroes that are like flagship, like. If you play a game like a normal game without like a Reinhardt or anyone with a barrier, you're kind of gimped, right? You're missing something that could be pretty vital to your strategy. Whereas with this game mode, if you're playing Reinhardt, you're dead. Like you can hold up your shield for 2,000 damage, but after that, like meh.
Yeah, you need to be a dive tank if you're going to play tank in this mode.
Yeah.
That's where the only way to go.
I feel like it's going to be a lot of players just playing the same group of characters every match.
I imagine May would be really annoying.
I won my very first match as Symmetra. Just set up a bunch of turrets, lure somebody in, and then left click your way to win.
Yeah.
And then I got my ult pretty fast too, so I just put down the shield. So now I'm Symmetra, 6 turrets, and a shield generator too. So good luck.
Right, because I imagine your teleporter is like all but useless.
What would the teleport even be? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sombra, I think, would be strong in this mode.
Maybe.
Actually, with her skills.
Maybe.
She could sneak up behind people and just kind of pick them off. So, anyways, that's that. That's, I don't plan on spending much time in that mode at all. But it's there, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more of a fad than anything else. At least it's hopefully. Yeah, that's what I hope it to be. Let's move on to the next section of our show. We're going to do a little bit of news. Going to go over some of the big news stories that happened over the past week or so. So let's start off here with someone suing Nintendo. So Gamevice, which is this company that builds like iPhone, Android, like game peripherals, because there's apparently a market for that, I guess. They're claiming that they came up with a design that's all about like attachable like controllers to the side of a tablet, and then like you can detach them as well. Basically, what the Switch is. Gamevice is they're saying that they came up with that design first. They patented it, and now they're saying Nintendo is infringing on their patent with the Switch.
Okay.
I have many questions. Like, I guess the biggest one is like, why did it take 5 months after release,
right,
for this to happen? Yeah. And we've known about the Switch's design since at least January of this year.
And I mean, shit, you don't see Razer suing Nintendo. Razer had a gaming tablet type thing.
They certainly have a case.
They
certainly have a case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just find it really interesting that these guys are kind of like 5+ months later thinking, yeah, we've got a case against Nintendo. We can do this. And their suit is actually asking for Nintendo to pay back for damages to Gamevice's brand, I guess, or losses. Wow. And they're also asking for a complete ban on sales of the Nintendo Switch.
Wow. Yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's a really high ask. It's pretty tough.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
It's
think
just go ahead.
maybe they were waiting to see if they could make money off the lawsuit, right? Maybe because Nintendo was pretty dead in the water right before the Switch launched.
Right.
Believe it or not, they had been posting, I think, for like 18 straight quarters, like record losses. Right. So maybe they're waiting like, we have this lawsuit. But another concern I have is Nintendo has their own patents, too. Nintendo went and researched this. Their legal team, is one of the most diligent in the industry. They don't get sued. I mean, they get sued often, but they don't lose suits.
Yeah.
I can't even think of a time where Nintendo did lose a suit off the top of my head.
Nah. The
here.
biggest debacle was the whole thing in the the late 80s, early 90s when Mortal Kombat came out, which formed the ESRB.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems like kind of a lawsuit, like a dead lawsuit walk-in kind of a thing. Like, I don't see this gaining too much traction. I mean, if it does, it'd be interesting to follow, see where it goes, see how the judge and jury like decide for this case. But let's say, let's hypothesize that Gamevice wins this lawsuit. Like, can they really ban sales of all Switches? You know what I mean? Like, that's just
Never
insane.
happened.
Yeah.
Never happened, no.
Yeah, it would not happen. There's no way. That's like, oh my God, dude, the world would be in shambles if something like that somehow happened.
The realistic best case scenario that Gamevice could ever hope for is a settlement.
Yeah.
Out of court, like Nintendo's like, oh shit, they caught us, like here's some money, but we're gonna still sell these, there's nothing you can do about it. Basically, we're still making money, right? Or they might have to pay like per unit sold in the future. That would be really bad for Nintendo as well.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
I think if I remember correctly, man, I hope I'm remembering this right, but I think Sony had to pay like licensing for the Rumble feature or something like that in their PlayStation 3 controller. I seem to remember this about 10 years ago or so, but they had to pay like licensing fees because they stole or infringed on some patent that they didn't even know existed. So this is a very common, unfortunately, litigation is very common in the gaming industry, among many other industries, but it definitely rears its head here a lot.
Yeah. Not to mention Xbox. Microsoft has to give Sony money every time they produce an Xbox.
Because Blu-ray?
Because of Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's what you do, man. You just you just fabricate your own, proprietary information channel and then sell it to your competitors. Genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, while we're talking about lawsuits, another lawsuit was kind of in the news sphere in the past week. So Riot Games, the people who make League of Legends, you guys have heard of that, right? That small indie game by that small indie dev team.
Oh man, I think a lot of people would. I said this to you guys earlier, but I think a lot of people would be shocked and amazed at how huge a company Riot is now. They are up there with the biggest names in video game history right now, and all for what, one game, League of Legends?
One game.
Yeah, it's massive. It's its own industry. That one game alone is its own complete industry. More people, and I said this on our a previous podcast, but more people in just North America play League of Legends than play baseball. That's across Major League, college, Little League, all of those people combined. That's not as many people as play League of Legends every day. That's just like a mind-blowing stat for me.
Dude, like it's almost to the point where like you don't if someone plays League of Legends, you almost don't consider them a gamer. You know what I mean? Like and
wow. Send your email sparling@gmail.com.
I don't need to make a huge blanket statement out of this. That's not what I mean. Like you know what I mean? It's either, what I mean by that is they either play League of Legends and nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're really good at League of Legends, or they're gamers and whatever.
No,
but
I do.
Like League of Legends is like its own entity at this point.
It completely is. No, they could come out with like that box, what plays League of Legends, and sell it for $99, and like it would sell like crazy, right?
Yeah, the League of Legends station.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
they could make their own console. Like how many games could you say could do that?
Yeah,
Madden couldn't do that.
I mean, like I remember it was a couple months ago that Riot Games released like some estimates of statistics about their game. Something about like over 100 million monthly users. Like, yeah, 100 million.
They have more users than toilet paper.
Yeah.
So getting back to this lawsuit, though, talk about this.
Right. Okay. So there's a hero in the game called Lucian, and he has a skin that's based on a professional soccer player in Europe named Edgar Davids, I believe. And this isn't like Lucian's only skin. This is like one of his fucking 20. Like each each hero has so many skins in that game. So this is like, in the grand scheme of League of Legends, this is a very minor thing. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't really think about this too much when you're playing League. But there's a skin that he has called Striker Lucian, which they released around, I think, FIFA time maybe, which is basically the character, but he's in like a soccer getup because, like, yeah, let's be timely. And some people have claimed that he looks a little too much like Edgar Davids. Like, he even has this trademark, protective glasses that Davids apparently usually uses while he's on the field. But I guess, no one's really had any definitive proof that Riot's design team based it on Edgar Davids until
well I mean, I'm looking at, just as a layman coming from the outside looking in, but I'm looking at a photo comparison of it right now, and it's like incredibly hard to say that this character is not based on him. They look exactly the same,
right? But like the clincher though to this story, and this is the piece of evidence that decided in court that Riot Games have lost this lawsuit, is that this is amazing. It's one of their designers apparently tweeted out a while ago, like when the skin was first released. He tweeted something like off the cuff, like, "Oh, and for those asking, yeah, we based the Lucian Striker skin on professional soccer player Edgar Davids." Like, literally a confession right there.
Yeah, smoking gun. If I ever saw one. Wow. So that guy might not have a job anymore. So that's pretty diligent investigation if they found that old tweet.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably one of those things where, like, he just didn't think there was going to be any repercussions, and that it wasn't that big of a deal to have a dude's likeness from, football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. I mean, right off the bat, you wouldn't think it was that big of a deal until, he's suing your ass. So
this reminds me of what kind of happened with college, right? College football, and those players, they needed to get paid because their likenesses, their numbers, everything was being used. So, you gotta do your work. You can't just like copy somebody and put it in a game and then make money off of it, which is the main real issue here. So awesome,
for sure.
I think they deserve to lose the lawsuit after seeing this photo and after hearing about that tweet. Like, sorry guys, like, be better.
Right. They haven't decided yet how much Riot will owe Davids, but like, speaking honestly here, I don't think this is going to hurt Riot Games too much. Like,
no.
There's no, like, this is probably a drop in the bucket, not even maybe.
They could put LeBron and Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? And like, anyone in there. They could put David Beckham in there and like just pay it off. Like, they could afford that. They've got enough in the bank.
Yeah, seriously.
So did they take the skin off the marketplace?
I'm not sure actually if they have. I haven't booted up the game in a while, but I haven't read anything about that yet.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it said whether or not they took it down or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if David's asked for that, you know what I mean? Like, to stop making, because like, skins you have to pay with real money. Like, so Riot is making real life hard-earned cash off of his likeness. It's crazy world we live in.
It's funny. It's really hilarious when you see the comparison photo. So
yeah.
It's so good.
So next on this little docket here, so No Man's Sky, you guys remember that beautiful game that came out last year? That game that promised so much and delivered only so little. So they've been updating that game. Hello Games, the developer, they've been updating that game over the past year, like with periodic really big updates for free. You don't need to pay for any DLC or anything.
This is post-release. This is after all the work they already put into it, too.
Right. So they're putting in even more work. And now, apparently after, like, this is the third big release, and it dropped almost last week. And it was, like, pretty much 2 days after the anniversary of the game. So literally a year after its release. It has these 3 big updates, and this third one actually kind of adds multiplayer. But as a caveat, it's not like real multiplayer where you can like go to a planet with your friend and like mine shit with them. It's like if you're in the same area, you'll see like a floating orb and you can hear them through voice chat, and that's it. It's like barely multiplayer.
Crazy.
But,
wow.
Yeah, but apparently
that's still like a major bullet point that is kind of shocking the base game didn't launch with, though.
Right. Well, it's just because the developers never like outright said no when people asked, will this have multiplayer? They just kind of like skirted the question.
Yeah.
So like it just led to these expectations and a really bad reputation after it released. But this new update apparently also adds 30 hours of like new story or something and kind of fleshes it out more. And I've heard from people that like the game is now kind of worth getting, which I never thought this game would get to that point. I'll be honest.
That's the big news for me. They added 30 hours to single player. That's like a whole game. That's like 2 whole games.
Yeah.
Worth of content.
Yeah, that is a lot of gameplay time for a free update. I will commend them for doing all these free updates that I've been reading about, man. Like putting all that stuff in for free. I mean, I understand they're probably trying to atone for Sean Murray's sins, but hey,
this is the ultimate. Just like there's an ethos you have to live by, and I try and do this, in my day to day. You under promise and you over deliver. Mm-hmm. This is exactly what happens when you do not go by that. When you overpromise and underdeliver, this is exactly what happens. And they raked it in too. They were making tens of millions of dollars. I can't remember. They sold a lot of copies of this game when it first launched because it was so out there. It was on like Stephen Colbert show. It was on like Jimmy Kimmel. It made the rounds through mass media, and everyone's looking forward to this like revolutionary game. And then it comes out and just completely fell flat. It's hard to believe as well that this is the same developer that their previous game was Joe Danger. Joe Danger, and they're making a game as huge in scale, at least purported to be, as No Man's Sky. But I mean, they're kind of hitting some like really dangerous tick boxes for me right now. Like they're 60% off on Steam. They added 30, hours of single player on top of whatever little skeleton of a game they had on top of this. And then they're adding this whatever multiplayer So it's not really multiplayer? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it's basically like if you're running around on a planet and there's someone else, this is my understanding, and there's someone else that's running around on the same planet in the same area you are, you'll see their character, but instead of their character, it's like a floating orb of light.
Revolutionary, guys. PlayStation 4, this is what you come here for.
Yeah, so it's them, and you could hear them through voice chat if they have like a mic and they're talking to you. But like how much can you do? Like, hey bro, you're on this planet too. Like that's cool. You want to?
Yeah, you're a light being.
You guys want to pick up rocks and get herbs together?
So do you want to? It's less multiplayer than Journey. Then is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that'd make more sense. Because it's just so weird. I don't know if there'll ever be fully fledged multiplayer. Like you can invite friends to your party and then you all go to a planet.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So me and you, if we got the game, we couldn't like group up and travel and jet set across the galaxy.
I think we could like try to pinpoint to try and go in the same planet, and then we can talk to each other in the game, and that's about it. But we also have like Discord and Skype. And
good luck though, because as this game said, right, there's infinite levels. They don't even know how many planets are in this universe. They don't even know because it's growing every second.
Like I've been thinking too, like they've been doing a pretty decent job at like updating No Man's Sky over the past year, but like where does Hello Games go after this? Like what do they do? Because they produce another game and they put it out, it's going to sell like shit.
No, I know what their next game is. It's going to be a World War I first-person shooter, and they're going to call it No Man's Land.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god.
Oh, good one.
Thank you.
But seriously, man, like, can Hello Games do anything to like possibly redeem them? Like, I guess they're doing all they possibly can at this point to redeem themselves, but nothing is going to be able to take back that basically like how Sean Murray took them to the slaughter, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shuhei Yoshida, dude, was like destroyed them. Yeah. Like he did, like he's just like, they screwed up. Like the big boss is Sony's like they screwed up. So
Sony did not help them at all with the messaging, and this is why it's so important to have marketing and PR and things like that in place, like way before, and like find Sean Murray and put a muzzle on him and like, dude, shut up. Shut up.
Yeah. I mean, you barely hear a word from him anymore. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, like what No Man's Sky is doing now with all these updates, like the best this is going to do, because I mean, it's kind of repairing their reputation, right? But now their reputation is like, if they start marketing a new game, it's not going to be, oh, let's buy it day one. It's going to be, oh, let's wait a year when it gets 60% off on Steam, because then by then they'll probably have patched in the real
they'll patch
content.
it to be content complete. Like the only answer that they have now is Joe Danger, the sequel. That's the only answer they have.
Joe Danger 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
No, so like I mean, I think the only possible way, man, is if they plan to move forward and keep that company name of Hello Games, they're gonna have to first of all come out with a solid game that like from just like straight out the gate is just amazing, or at least solid. And just claw and scratch and bite their way back up. That's the only thing they can do if they want to keep that name and redeem themselves.
You know, I was looking at this on Steam, and reviews are somewhat positive for this update, and it is selling well.
The recent ones, at least.
Yes, the recent ones.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't plan on playing it really. It might be cool in VR. Is it on VR?
I couldn't say if I know,
but that could be a cool thing if it was a thing.
Like, what I'll give them credit for is that I now am thinking something I thought I'd never think, and that if this goes on sale for like winter sale or something and it's a good discount, I might pick it up. Maybe.
Isn't it 60% off now? Is that not enough?
I mean,
it's $24.99.
Sure, but like, you know, Sonic Mania just came out, and I'm still playing Hellblade. I've got other good games to play.
I think this is just kind of a textbook case of too little, too late.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's sad in a way that they're still trying to salvage this game where no one's really asking for it. And I don't know. I'm looking actually on the top sellers right now in real time on Steam. It's not even in the top 10 anymore.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
if
that's
Lawbreakers is outselling you and you're 60% off, there's issues.
Yeah, well, Lawbreakers is brand new though. I think there's some kind of argument there, you know.
It's $30. I didn't realize that is only $30.
It's not a full release or full priced release.
Yeah, it's just a bad game.
Yeah. Moving on, speaking of bad games, maybe Crackdown 3.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
I'm just saying, like, that
you want to talk about another
Crackdown.
face palm. So here, Xbox One is just, let's just equate that phrased Xbox One to facepalm. Let's just swap those phrases out, because that's what this is.
Well, let's at least get the headline out first.
Yeah.
So Crackdown 3 has been delayed for 2018. It was originally scheduled for release November 7, 2017, which, you know, coincidentally, the Xbox One X is scheduled to come out in November 7, 2017.
Be the featured launch game.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a connection there, maybe. But yeah, Crackdown 3 is going to miss it. It's not going to be on the Xbox One X at launch.
It's not even going to make it 11th hour in December for the holidays, right? It's going to completely miss the holiday window.
It's not even going to launch in the same quarter.
Yeah, if it comes out like March or May next year, it'll probably be a really bad sign, because that's like the end of their fiscal year, right? And that's when games get forced and pushed out the door to report earnings. So it's just bad all around.
Yeah,
I was Colin. Bad. I mean, I have really fond memories of Crackdown 1 on Xbox 360. I got two words for you: agility orbs. They were so revolutionary a feature. I don't know what it was about it, man, but it was addicting as hell to pick those up and to just be more agile, right? And jump higher and move faster and do all these new skills. It was so cool. And the graphical style, the cell shading, the sense of humor. It was kind of repetitive, I will say, but the agility orbs made it what it was. What are your thoughts?
For sure, man. Dude, jumping around that city, man, just trying to find them orbs and just jump higher and run fast. Like, it got to a point in the game where like your dude was just like this ginormous hulking dude that could run faster than every car.
Yeah, it was actually faster to not be in a vehicle.
Yeah, and then jump to the top of like skyscrapers with ease. Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was so
like
cool.
The stuff that you could do, and then you could get like really fun like guns. And dude, like the most satisfying thing is like when you would jump into cars, right? And you get upgraded cars. Your car would it would just be the base model of the car, but when you jump in it, your car would transform through all the different levels and then finally get to the fastest version. Then you jump out of the base and into the streets, and then you're just plowing through all the other fucking cars.
I just felt like a little flea man, just jumping, you know what I mean? Like 500 feet in the air. Like it was a cool stylized game, and I had a good time. I had a great time. Crackdown 2, not so much. I never even played Crackdown 2 for whatever reason. Gears of War.
It's just
was
Crackdown 1 with zombies.
Yeah, I had no interest, and apparently neither did the market because it sold really poorly. But everything I'm seeing in Crackdown 3 with how destructible it is, computing in the cloud, man. We're going to use the cloud to render these graphics for you and then beam it back to you. Okay, whatever that means. If that's better than just rendering it on the system now, I don't know.
Xbox is the new Watakula.
But this was supposed to be the at least for me. I mean, you guys tell me what was coming out, this year that we talked about this earlier, but that would possibly, convert you guys to wanting to maybe purchase a $500 Xbox One X. For me, it was Crackdown 3.
See, that's the thing, man. So now, here goes Xbox, the Team Xbox screwing the chicken once again on their exclusives. And they're one of the biggest exclusives that they had left gets pushed back away from the launch, and now the people that are getting this system at launch are getting it at Christmas time. They're getting it with probably the latest Call of Duty.
You're getting the new Forza.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not all bad. They've still got Forza Motorsport 7, which
Forza always has that cult following.
Yeah, we can't deny that Forza will sell something, right? There are people who probably buy it for that. Cuphead.
You really think though? Especially Cuphead too. So you bring up an interesting game, but you really think people will shell out $500 to play the next Forza? I think that's a hard ask.
It is, yeah.
Especially since you can play it on PC.
Yeah, exactly the main problem. The more inherent problem actually with this whole thing, which we've talked about, around E3 time. We're just kind of circling back to it now because this was their one kind of golden unicorn. I guess this was their one quote unquote launch game, that could potentially show off the power of and justify that huge purchase. Now without this, it's I'm extra not going to get it now.
Wasn't Crackdown 3 also slated to come out for PC just because, the Xbox Anywhere, Play Anywhere thing?
I didn't know that or not.
That was what I remember.
Well, it should be.
Because I remember when I was watching E3 2017, the Microsoft press conference, I remember being impressed because it's wow, there's a lot of good games in this lineup.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. But the one thing I kept thinking was, but I'll buy it on PC. Because it's going to be there.
Yes.
Now, granted, the Windows Store is pretty garbage. It's not good. I own Forza Horizon 3 through the Windows Store, and I have done many things to try and make sure I never have to open the Windows Store again.
Yeah, no, I've gone through that same path, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's just not a good system. So that's kind of a little bit bad, I guess, when it comes to thinking about these Xbox One Play Anywhere games.
It needs to improve.
Yeah, but the only games I see here that I'd think I'd want to play it on PC that are only Xbox exclusive are maybe Forza Motorsport 7 and maybe Crackdown 3. Everything else that's coming out this holiday season, you're talking Shadow of War, maybe the Call of Duty game, maybe
third-party titles.
Yeah, Destiny 2, Battlefront 2. Those are all games I can get on PC and probably through Steam or Origin, I guess, for Battlefront 2 and the Blizzard launcher for Destiny 2. But it's so why would I buy an Xbox One X?
Yeah, so what I'm understanding now is instead of having one or two reasons to maybe get that console, no, I actually have zero reasons as a PC player. There's actually no reason to do it. I mean, it is, I guess, if you look at it from PC standards, pretty powerful tech for that price. I mean, let's be honest, my graphics card alone costs $200 more than this console does. So, but again, that just really speaks to, okay, well, it's not really for me. It's for somebody else. It's not really console, but it just sucks that a game as highly lauded, I mean, it's one of their only exclusives, is not going to make launch. It's hard to kind of say this is a new console launch. It's just a part of the family now. It's just, hey, just roll it in. Here's $500. Just pay double what you're paying for the Xbox One S now.
Yeah, and funny enough, wasn't that kind of the same issue that the Xbox One originally had when it first came out? Not that many good Xbox exclusive launch titles.
They did have my favorite one, which was Dead Rising. They had a handful.
3?
Dead Rising
Yeah,
3.
Yeah, they had a
Dead
handful.
Rising 3.
Nothing like phenomenal. I mean, not a large number of great exclusives at launch, but the quality I thought was pretty much there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pretty
they
good
didn't
as
have
any launch.
they didn't have no cameo going on.
Elements of power, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just I'm worried the Xbox One X is going to be like this sad swan song we're already kind of witnessing, but we'll see how it goes.
No one, I mean, no one got hyped for it. Everyone was concerned with the price, and then when people, when Nintendo like talked about the SNES, like you said, Colin, that old joke, like everyone was like flocking for the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where the hype is this year.
I honestly foresee a price drop post holiday season on the Xbox One
That soon.
X. Excuse me. Yeah, like I don't
3
know.
months?
I mean, dude, I don't know. Like based on you remember when Nintendo dropped the 3DS price,
Yeah.
like that.
It's like 3 months, yeah.
You know, so anything can happen. Honestly.
Yeah, it looks like I inadvertently bought 20 games apparently because I'm in the ambassador program. So for my extra $80-$90, they gave me just a bunch of games.
Huh.
Thanks, I guess. Thanks.
Well, there you go.
Better than nothing, I guess.
So in other news, so apparently For Honor is still semi-popular with like people, I guess.
What's For Honor?
What's For Honor? It's actually a good game. I can't sit here and entertain conversation about it not being a good game. It's fun. It's a fighting game.
No, it is. It's a pretty fun game. It is.
I don't know. When I played through it, I was like kind of interested in it when I was playing it, and I thought it was really unique in how it like played.
It is.
Right? But after a while, it just kind of felt like, okay, all I need to do is play this class that's obviously the best because the game isn't balanced, and once I learn how to play this class really, really well, I win.
I never played it that much to even figure that stuff out. I remember the mechanics being much deeper than I ever anticipated. I remember the graphics looking phenomenal on PC.
Yes, that's true.
The production levels are there, and it's pretty much like an over-the-shoulder 3D fighting game, kind of a la. It's reminiscent a little bit of Dynasty Warriors, but just much higher quality
And
on
a
all
lot
the sliders.
slower.
Yeah, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
And they couldn't bother to animate scabbards into the game, but hey.
Yeah. So anyway, the reason we're talking about For Honor, 6 months after release. So
Wow.
they had an esports competition of some kind, I guess. And for a while, like, look, I can't express how
I know. I just
disillusioned I am
love
with.
how incredulous you are about the news story, and you're hosting the news. You're just like, so something happened, and a thing happened, and
No, okay. So there's been this exploit for like weeks, months in the game that it's like not necessarily a cheat, but it's definitely something that probably wasn't intended to be in the game, and it's been around for a while. And some dude just used that exploit to win the competition and win
Spammed it.
$10,000.
wow.
So could you say he won in a dishonorable fashion?
Oh,
Yeah.
sick burn.
Pretty much in a game called For Honor.
Yeah.
God, I just don't get why this was still a thing. Like, if you're gonna play a game, if you're gonna like Ubisoft, come on, if you're gonna have a game be like esports level, like where you want it to be a competition, the game shouldn't inherently be broken. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
should actually be a game with Mario and Rabbids and XCOM. That should be where they put all their esports chips, man.
we will
Okay,
talk
we need to give
about.
Jack a raise. We're not making money right now, but we're going to give Jack a raise.
We will talk about that game in 2 weeks when it comes out. So,
like the whole reason to own a Switch, but we're going on tangent.
wrong. So look, so for example, like when you watch a game of soccer, it's not like you can't wait to see someone kick the ball at a certain angle toward the outer boundary of the field to then have the ball ricochet right into the opponent's goal. You know what,
What
I
are you
mean?
talking
Like,
about? I
So
would
you
love
mean
to
like
see
Super
that.
Mario?
That sounds
You
awesome.
mean like Super Mario Strikers with rabbits?
Yeah, but if you see that, would you say like, oh, they scored? Like they legitimately earned that 1 point? No, because it's an exploit of physics and time and space. But in a game, that shouldn't really happen either. Like you rarely ever hear like at the Dota International or League of Legends Worlds, someone like exploiting a champion's abilities and like somehow figured out a way to like have their cooldowns be 0 so they could spam all their abilities all at once. Like you don't hear about stuff like that. And the fact that this guy named Jacob Pollen somehow won $10,000 by exploiting something that should not have been in the game in the first place, like, come on.
No, it's lame. It's 100% lame. But it happened. It's a thing, and Ubisoft condoned it. I mean, they tacitly endorsed it by not fixing the exploit.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Just yesterday, on Tuesday, they pushed out a patch for Season 3 because apparently this game has seasons. And the patch has fixed the update. And it's like, you couldn't have done that before.
Right, before you start paying money to people for playing this game. So that now is a non-issue anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's very interesting. Well, let's face it, guys. Ubisoft is just chomping at the bit for any kind of press. Bad press is good. Any press is good press, especially when it comes to this game. For Honor just kind of really fell off the radar. I mean, it came out, a couple weeks or so before Ghost Recon. They have some strong titles out here, but people like us, and I can't think of anyone in my group of friends here at all is really talking about For Honor at all. And we're thinking in the back of our heads, in the not too distant future, it's gonna be Game of the Year time, and I can't think of any list that For Honor would even be on. It just kind of came and went. But I think it's sort of unfortunate because, like I said, I think there is a good game there. How much of the single player game did you play?
Me?
Yeah.
I think I got halfway through the second campaign.
So not much.
I didn't get to the samurais. I know I was in the middle of the Vikings.
I'm not ready to dismiss this game yet. I still need to go back to it. I played even less than you did. I'm not ready to say it's a terrible game. What I do remember is that, again, the mechanics were very sound. It was fun, going against people in multiplayer. So I don't know. It just kind of came and went.
Yeah, I don't know. When I stopped playing the game after a little while, but and I had some ideas of coming back to it, but especially after I found out that the game was completely broken, it was completely unbalanced. It gets to I've actually watched videos where a guy explained how the game was unbalanced because when you hit a certain level and you can unlock certain items and abilities, the game you will guaranteed win every time with that set certain setup, where to the point the guy was basically hitting everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So,
that sucks to lose that money to something like that too, right? Especially if you're trying to play the game without doing that.
I mean, you don't win the Street Fighter finals at Evo by using an exploit,
Right. No, for sure.
Yeah, and I've said this before, but I definitely think this is going to be one of those games where it seems like they at least made a decent amount of money on the first game. So if they decide to do a sequel, I definitely think it's going to get Assassin's Creed 2 syndrome, where it's going to be vastly improved.
Yeah, that's a good syndrome to have.
Original game.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 is the best of that whole series, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of people agree with you. But yeah, if it can pull something like that, man, I think definitely it could be an entity to be dealt with in the future.
Yeah, if they go down that route, I can't wait for the fourth For Honor game where we get pirates and you get to fight on ships.
Guys, the sequel, 5 Honor?
All right, let's get away from that. So moving on to our second to last story.
There's a lot of news going on this week. It's a heavy news week. We went from a light news week to a really heavy one.
And I'm okay with that. So Amazon Prime, for those of you who are members of Amazon Prime, you probably already know that you can pre-order video games through their service and you get a 20% discount. And if you don't want to pre-order, you can still benefit from that discount 2 weeks after a game releases, so you can wait and see if reviews, are positive or favorable for that game. So then you can kind of still cash in on that 20% off, which is
at least you used to be able to.
Used to, yeah. Now Amazon's
you used to.
Amazon's rolling out this policy that the 20% off discount will still go forward for any pre-orders, but it will not go forward the second the game drops. And additionally, it will not be able to be applied to collector's editions, special editions, those kind of things. And this is really anti-consumer, and I kind of hate it, to be honest. Because rarely do I pre-order a game that I'm kind of on the fence about, right? And I'm usually on the fence about most games. I usually wait and see how reviews are looking to decide I guess I'll buy. I didn't buy Hellblade until I saw reviews were pretty positive about it. You know what I mean? So to see them kind of pull away this idea where you can save $12 on a like full $60 release, you can save $12 off it.
Yeah, that's major.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's like 12 candy bars. You can save that money if you choose to bite the bullet and buy the game before like you see the reviews, because usually most reviews nowadays, the embargo is lifted on the day of release. Rarely now do you see games with embargoes that lift day before at the very least. So yeah, you just kind of have to wait and see, and you bite the bullet if you want to save $12, but then you could have either saved $12 or wasted 48. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's true. Here's the thing, man. So, and this actually stemmed from me reading a thread on NeoGAF where Canada's getting even more screwed than we are. They're actually getting their discount cut in half to 10%. So yeah, and not only are they losing, post pre-order discount, they're actually getting their discount cut. So that's a huge thing too, and it's especially with everyone. It seems like a lot of different gaming outlets or stores in which you can buy games is doing so many like anti-consumer type things, and now it moved on to Amazon. And with this happening, man, there's no reason why a lot of people won't just drop this right now and just move to Best Buy's GCU thing that they got going on.
Wait, are you saying? Hold on, are you saying dropping Amazon Prime?
No, not dropping Amazon Prime, but because they still have the 2-day shipping thing. But like, if you solely use Amazon as a Prime pun not intended. Using them as like your way of getting games primarily, and then I don't see why you wouldn't just switch to Best Buy GCU, because Best Buy GCU, not only do they give you the 20% discount for pre-orders, I think almost all new games for however long, and you can still get the 20% discount on them.
It is, yeah. But how many people use Amazon Prime just for video games? Do either of you just for video games?
Nope.
No, I'm not saying. Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
So what I'm saying, so I guess everyone's gonna have to reconcile, right? Like, is Amazon Prime like gonna be still worth it, quote unquote? Now, let me just say, like off the top here, that I am all for games being affordable and games being cheaper for sure. I've just been a member of Amazon Prime for like a better part of 9-10 years, like straight. And thank you, student discount, by the way, what made that possible. But I remember a time where they didn't ever give discounts really, until after release, then, months down the road, much like Steam, then they'd have physical copies released or discounted, some percentage. Anyway, so to me, when they introduced this, I came from before this period. And then when they introduced this, I was like, this is incredible. This is a huge discount. This is awesome. Like, it made me definitely more prone to using Amazon to get games rather than just going what I have gone, which is like full scale digital now. Like, I just swear off like all physical releases at this point going forward. With few exceptions. But so for me, it's just like, well, I'm glad there's still something. I know that's like, not what you want to hear, but I also like don't use Amazon again as my primary game delivery service. And I definitely use them more for like Amazon Prime Now for like same day delivery, and like definitely for the 2-day delivery. And also it's just nice to go to Amazon, put in a word. Yeah, it's definitely there. It is because it's Amazon, and then have it here in 2 days. And so for me, that's worth the Amazon price annual fee. But yeah, this is just, it sucks that it's going away. But if it's what they have to do to like stay afloat, not that they're in any danger or anything like that, right, of going out of business, but I guess I'm okay with it just because I don't feel that affected by it. Do you guys feel really affected by this? Like, is it going to cost a lot more money for either of you?
Well, I wouldn't say very affected by it. It's kind of a shame that like we were able to benefit before from like being able to wait and see reviews. Yeah. And now we won't really have that benefit anymore.
That's the part that sucks. Yeah.
That's the part. Right, yeah. To me, that's the worst, I think.
For sure.
But it's not like I cancel Amazon Prime just for this. Because like you said, that Amazon Prime, I didn't get it because of video games. I got it because of all the other delicious goodies that are wrapped up in that Prime bundle. So it's not like I'm going to cancel my Prime subscription over this. It's just kind of a shame.
Yeah, they must have some like marketing analytics that showed that, by extending this discount for 2 weeks, like it was really costing us X amount of dollars, and if we get rid of this, we'll make Y amount instead. We'll
make billions
of dollars in
right. Yeah, because if the game comes out and it's got really positive reviews and people or waiting for the reviews to come out, and they buy it post, pre-order time, then that's just an easy way for them to make more money.
Did this real quick, just not to cut you off, but did this
No,
extend to Nintendo games? Because Nintendo games are always full price.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yep.
Wow.
At least I think it did. Yeah.
No more.
No,
I
yeah,
guess.
because and that's really helpful for Nintendo games too, because those things never drop in price.
Also, if you guys remember, Nintendo and Amazon have somewhat trivial trivia here. They actually have like an embattled relationship. It was very hard actually to pick up Nintendo consoles on Amazon directly from Amazon. They and 3DSs and stuff like that. Like years past, they just do not have a good working relationship as the other console manufacturers have with them. So I don't know if it's been kind of smoothed over since, but they definitely have a rocky relationship.
See, that's kind of funny because I whenever I'm getting Nintendo games, for the most part, I actually get them exclusively from Amazon.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, because I've never been a big fan of downloading a lot of Nintendo games. Like on my 3DS, almost every game I own is cartridge, except for Phoenix Wright, because that one's only digital download and stuff.
Well, I want to note though that it's mainly hardware, not software.
Okay.
Yeah, hardware has always been notoriously very hard to find on Amazon directly from Nintendo, not from a third party. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm currently eyeing Etrian Odyssey 5. That's coming out in a couple months, I think, and I'm probably gonna get that through Amazon. Just because of the 20% deal. And I think the only reason I'm going to bite the bullet on it is just because I've been playing a lot of Etrian Odyssey in the past. I played a lot of the previous games, so I know what I'm getting into, and I know I'll more than likely enjoy the experience. But it's going to be hard to say that for a brand new release of some kind that'd be coming out, and maybe you can get 20% off on Amazon, but who knows how good it'll actually be? What if it turns out to be No Man's Sky 2?
Right, you're definitely in danger, and it's funny hearing you say Etrian Odyssey 5, because I feel like it's almost impossible now in today's market to come out with a JRPG that doesn't have 12 episodes, one annually now. It's all right, we're on the 5th one of these. Dang.
Yeah, dude, every JRPG, I swear it gets some sort of sequel or is some sort of series.
It's already kind of built into our expectations as consumers. Oh, well, clearly there's going to be one of these Tales games, or one of these. This is going to be a whole saga. It can't just be one off, be great like Chrono Trigger sort of was until Chrono Cross came out. But what about I Am Setsuna? How good is that game?
I've heard it's pretty good. If you like Chrono
Trigger.
I
have yet to dive. Yeah, I've yet to really dive into it. But everyone says that if you like Chrono Trigger, you'll love I Am Setsuna.
That's exciting to me. If I get a Switch, I definitely think I would probably want to have that game on the go. But that is an example of a one-off so far, anyways. Right? It's only a year old. Yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Lost Odyssey. That's the one that pops in my head. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Good pull.
All right. Okay, so final news bit on the docket, and this one I think is going to generate a lot of interesting discussion. I'm kind of excited about this. Not bong bong.
No, boom boom.
Okay. So
bam bam.
For those of you who aren't aware, there is a service called MoviePass, and what they're all about is for a monthly fee, you can go into any theater and just watch a movie. Without paying for that specific viewing.
Once a day.
Yeah, once a day. And previously, I think their monthly fee was in the $30 range or something.
No. It was $50.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. $49.95.
Yeah, but if you watch more than 5 movies a month, you're technically, not losing anything.
Well, for one, you're crazy.
True.
First and foremost, you're a monster and you need help.
But you're at least making that $50 work for you at that point. Mm-hmm. Now they've announced that they're planning on lowering their price to basically Netflix level pricing. We're talking $10 here, $10 a month.
That is an incredible price for being able to go to the movies once every single day for a whole month. That's 30 visits potentially to a movie theater for $10. And they're not wanting to do that. Let me clarify. They have done it.
Well, no, I thought the deal hasn't been finished yet.
Robert, let me tell you, they have done it, and I signed up.
There
and
it is.
My card is in the mail.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
wow. Okay.
Yes.
MoviePass is $10 a month per Jack Cepeda here. You heard it first. You heard it
absolutely.
Here first.
Absolutely.
So what's it's a great idea, because if you go to the movies, like Jack said, once every day for a month, that's $300 you could be spending, or
minimum.
Just $10 a month.
Yeah, I don't even know how this works. I'm really shocked. So news got out and spread fast on this yesterday, and their website was down, and I was spamming their whole sign up process like over and over and over again for the better part of like an hour. Like every step of the way, it was just coming back error, right? And to sign up, you have to like do all these, like fill out all the stuff, confirm your email, all these different steps. Each one of them took forever to get through, but I finally got through. They charged my PayPal. Then they send you a card in the mail, like a physical, like plastic, like credit card style thing. Right. It's not a credit card, but it's like that style with your number on it. And then once I get that, I put like the final 4 numbers into my app, and then I'm good to go. I don't know how this works. I don't know how this is legal. Don't they have to have? Okay, I'm confused now because obviously, as the news story said, or have you said that yet? AMC is like,
we haven't said that yet.
We haven't said that
but,
yet.
I can talk about it. So, big news story came out. So AMC slams MoviePass and is threatening legal action. So AMC Theaters is threatening legal action, and this is via Variety, by the way. AMC Theaters is threatening legal action against MoviePass, a subscription-based service for cinemagoers, hours after the company announced it will allow customers to see a movie a day for less than $10 a month. In a statement, the world's largest exhibitor dismissed MoviePass as a small fringe player, and said that its model is not in the best interest of moviegoers, movie theaters, and movie studios. Blah, blah, blah. There was some interesting quotes down here. In an interview with Variety, MoviePass CEO Mitch Lowe said the deal has yet to close, but expressed concern that AMC's stance could hurt his business. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried, quote, I'm not worried about it killing the sale, he said. What I'm worried about is it confusing customers and making them believe that they can't use the service at AMC Theaters.
Right.
MoviePass is using the capital injection from the sale to fund an overhaul to its pricing model. It will now enable customers to see a movie a day in a theater for a $9.95 monthly fee, far less than the cost of a ticket in many major markets.
So what is this? Is this like the Green Man Gaming of like movie tickets? Like, do they get like illicit, tickets somewhere and then resell them to you? Like, what's going on here? How does this not work without like the movie theaters working with them in partnership? How does this work?
Well, here's the thing.
Actually, I'm sorry. I said in the article actually something about that.
Well, okay. So I pretty much kind of know where you're going here. Is that the same time that they're like announcing this plan, they're also selling MoviePass to a marketing company called Helios and something. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of forgetting it now. But this marketing company is basically the same kind of people that, like gather all of your information and like kind of figure out who you are and what you like. And, then they can make targeted ads right at you, like that
through the app, like through the app.
Yeah, basically they'd be gathering data about what kind of movies you like to see. So they're basically pulling a Facebook right here.
It up, dude. I spend so much money on movies every month. Like, take my info. I don't care. For $10 a month, it's like down like what 400% discount. Like,
yeah, I mean, Colin, do you have the name of that marketing firm?
80% discount.
It's in that article somewhere.
Marketing firm.
It's Helios and something. But yeah, I think that's probably their plan, is that they're hoping to get a lot of data out of this and make money off big data and stuff. But the thing is, AMC is like totally not having it. Like, it's kind of really funny how they've worded this fucking press release.
Maybe though AMC is just mad that they didn't come up with this first.
I mean, possibly, but I think it's just like them being angry at this, because like they like, get this line: AMC Theaters announced today its concern that an announcement by a small fringe player in the reselling of movie tickets is not in the best interest of moviegoers, movie theaters, and movie studios.
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's so like seethingly angry. It just sounds like a petulant child, just kind of like, I want that. It's mine.
Yeah, get off my lawn. Yeah, this is wow. This is. I mean, I'm excited. When I saw it, like I said, the interwebs kind of blew up yesterday. Did you guys try and go, or at least investigate this at all?
No
interest at all. Not that $10 price was enough to get you to look it up.
I mean, I don't go to the movies that often.
I mean, do. No, I would go a lot more if I had something like this, for sure. Yeah. The closest thing I can think of is actually the Gateway movie theater has a subscription service that you can do monthly here in Columbus. And it's like, I think it's $25 a month. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, with every time you go to a showing, you also get like free popcorn and a drink and stuff like that. Oh,
nice.
So it's like a package deal. So even at $25 a month, it's really not that bad of a deal, even considering that we get student discounts.
Yeah.
So
I'm willing to bet my $9.95 that they charged my PayPal yesterday that this is going to be awesome. You know, if I'm out $9.95, if I see one friggin' movie, I made my money back.
It's true.
Right.
And then you can cancel at any time.
The only question is how long is this going to last? Because for the time being, it sounds like it works at AMC theaters, but it says they're looking into talking to their lawyers about getting it, taken down or have the ability to not be able to use that MoviePass at AMC theaters.
I'm still confused though. So you're telling me like MoviePass buys the ticket for you at full price, but gives it to you for free, but then hopes to make more than the ticket price value on reselling your data.
I think that's what they're going for.
So it says right here in this paragraph, it says MoviePass resells the tickets to customers and purchases them at full price using a MasterCard debit card. It claims it boosts attendance by 111% and its customers buy more concessions. But exhibitors have preferred to bolster their own loyalty programs instead of aligning themselves with the service. For instance, AMC has invested heavily in its growing Stubs rewards program.
Wow.
Right.
So
this is fascinating. So if someone goes, every time someone goes to a movie, they are like the movie theater still getting their full ticket value. They're not losing any money.
So far, allegedly, yeah.
Wow.
And that marketing firm, by the way, is Helios and Matheson Analytics, which just sounds so big data. Yeah. Just the name, it sounds so very big data.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this will be an interesting, no matter where this story goes, it's going to change, I think, how Americans will view going to the movies, because if this doesn't get big, I think it'll have a lot of Americans asking, but why isn't it big? Why isn't this a thing? I can do Netflix that way. Why can't I do the going to the movie theaters that way?
Right.
There are a lot of subscription services
it's funny that you say that
out
because that's funny that you say that because it says right at the bottom of this article, Lowe, a co-founder of Netflix and the former head of Redbox, compared AMC's reaction to the blowback those home entertainment companies received from movie studios and video rental chains when they offered DVDs by mail or via kiosks. Quote, "This is so much like Blockbuster was when we rolled out Netflix or Redbox."
Exactly what I was thinking.
Said Lowe. Yep. It's the big guy being afraid of the little guy offering better value to customers.
Yes, this is exactly the analog that I was drawing in my head right now. Can you guys do a little experiment with me, please? Can you try and just go to MoviePass.com? I want to see if it does load up. Okay, it finally loaded up for me. It took me like 2 minutes though of loading. See how quickly you can get there.
Yeah, it's already taken me some time to get there.
It's getting hammered, man. Ever since they reduced their price from $50 to $10, it's getting I didn't even know this existed.
Same.
And even for me, I go to Alamo Drafthouse. They have really great food there. It's like restaurant quality food. They have exclusive draft beers there, and it's a great experience going there overall for the most part. So I spend way more than just the regular price of a ticket. But tickets are easily $12, $13, sometimes more, depending, right?
Right.
So when I saw this, and I was like, if this works at Alamo Drafthouse, it's an absolute no-brainer for me. And this is a very interesting business model. So are you guys able to load up the page?
Yeah, it actually just loaded for me. So
it took you some time. What about you, Colin?
It's still
going.
It's
like I said, guys, they are getting hammered. So unlimited movies in theaters, $9.95. Wow, that could be awesome.
It's a good price. And honestly, what I'm kind of imagining right now is that, let's say AMC goes full mad angry about this, and they somehow pull off a way where MoviePass tickets will not work in AMC theaters, right?
But if it's an AMC ticket, I understand what you're saying. But obviously, I agree with you, though. There are teams, make no mistake right now, there are teams and teams of people at all of these major theaters right now, IT guys, everyone's in a room brainstorming, how can we squash this?
Right, and let me finish, though. Sure. So imagine that's what happens. They eventually do somehow squash this happening. I think now that the buzz is out for $10 a month, right? That's a very strong fact to know. Now that buzz is out there and a lot of people know about this, I'm imagining now that this could be the rise of independent cinema, because I think it'd be in an independent, cinema house's best interest to kind of pair up with these guys, right?
Yes.
Because think about how many people will go there. I imagine, for example, our local one here, Columbus, there's one called the Gateway, that could just get big. Because, there's an AMC near the Gateway, kind of maybe a mile away.
Right.
And if I have a MoviePass and AMC's like, we're not going to take your movie pass, I'll be like, that's fine. I'll take my business literally elsewhere, like a mile down the road.
Right.
And I imagine there are a lot of big American cities and even like some of the smaller cities that, you know, the same idea exists. And that could be pretty cool, I think, for the independent cinema world.
I would be very surprised at how they could stop this, though. If I'm understanding this correctly, if MoviePass is just going through normal consumer available channels to purchase tickets and then resell that to you, give you that barcode or whatever, right? Because I looked into the app as well, and you can even go in and like pick your seat just like you would any other normal movie theater app. Right, like you pick where you like for assigned seating and all that stuff. They just like do it 1-to-1 per movie theater, and for them to stop them from being able to do that, they'd have to stop all consumers from being able to do that if they're just going through normal channels. So I don't know how they could.
Well, I mean, they could probably like just kind of do not that I'm supporting the big businesses, but they could probably do a thing where like at the kiosk, you know, if you have a person there, you know, like a physical human being who has thoughts and isn't a computer, you know, they could be manning the kiosk, and then someone approaches them and be like, oh yeah, I want to pay for this with my movie pass. They could be like, oh, we don't accept that here.
So as I understand, the transaction goes through in the app, and then you just present to them the QR code or whatever the code is that they normally would use in their app. Is how I understand it to work. So it's not like a physical like payment system. Like I know I get a card, like a membership card, but that's just like with my number on it and stuff. I don't think I'm using that for transactions.
Okay.
I'm not sure though, because like I said, it's in the mail. It'll get here in 7 to 10 or 5 to 7 business days, and I'll let you know more like once I learn more. But it's all very interesting for me, and I'm actually really excited. And I hope this pans out at least for the first month, so I can you know have the experience of using it.
Right. I don't know. I think this could be a turn in how like the movie industry works, in the same way that Netflix was a huge turn in how the movie industry worked.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So yeah, we'll see how this goes. That should wrap us up for the news section, though. Let's get on to our last section of this podcast, the Would You Rather section. Jack, you want to hit us up?
Yeah. All right. So, would you rather, guys? Are you ready for this one?
Oh, I'm ready for a doozy.
Colin.
Oh, I'm so ready. My body is Reggie.
Okay, you are Reggie, and your body is there. All right, here we go. Would you rather have the power to stop and start time, or the power to stop and start aging at will? Discuss.
Oh. Okay, so just to make sure I'm getting this right, I can either stop and start time around me, but I'd still like age. So even if I stop time, but like basically a year goes by, I'd be 1 year older.
Correct.
But stopping aging, everyone around me still going at the same pace, but I can still, you know, be forever 21.
If you stop it at 21, yeah, you can't like choose. You know, you can start and stop it, but you can't ever get any younger.
All right, I'm 12 days away from not being 21 anymore, so I'm going to stick with that.
So you just want to be 21 the rest of your life?
Well, just because of the pun, man, I could be forever 21.
Oh my god!
I could be the store.
Oh, you know, we really need to start selling ad space on this podcast. We're giving it away for free here.
We are, yeah. It's
all of our audience here are staunch supporters of Forever 21. I'm sure, right?
It's just off the cuff marketing, you know.
Yeah.
No, I think that's interesting though, right? Because there's a lot of applications to both.
Oh yes.
Right. So stopping time, you know, like that it just has its obvious applications, from like, you know, being able to save people from disaster to like doing debaucherous evil things like peeking in the girls' locker room or something, right?
I was going to go with robbing a bank, but you do you, Robert. All right, so were you owner of Galgun? What's going on here?
Oh my god.
God, no.
No, but he owns the entire Senran Kagura series. What?
God,
I don't know what that is.
Either.
I don't even know what that is. Do I want to know?
Maybe.
Should I?
You already dropped the name.
No, there's not enough time for this.
Oh, Robert, shut us down. Okay. So go
then
ahead.
you can Google it later.
Yep, Google it later. Senran Kagura.
We'll cover this in the Easter egg portion of the podcast.
Colin, what are you thinking?
So I'm leaning. Like my initial reaction is like I'm leaning more towards being able to stop time, because I know me personally, one of my biggest vices is I put shit off all the time. I get really bad with it sometimes, and just having more time, even not even mischievous stuff, just getting schoolwork done and just stupid monotonous little things like that. Like just, oh, well, hey, I had like a week to do this essay. Better do it now. Can freeze time, get it done. Not have to worry about the deadline. Or even like, let's say you wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off. You're like, well, shit, not well rested enough. Pause time, sleep, and you have more hours to go on. Hit the play button. You're going on with your day. So, I mean, just stupid stuff like that. But then there's stuff that, like what Jack said, like, oh, you can stop time, let's rob a bank, and okay, now you're rich, nobody knows how you did it. Like,
yeah,
it's not like, you can see that in a camera or something. No one's going to be able to catch you.
Right.
So,
I don't know. I'm leaning towards stopping aging, right? The only reason I'm thinking that is because of how tragic it sounds to be able to stop. Because here's the thing. You stop time and you think you have all the time in the world until you die of old age. And that's tragic. You think you have all the time, but really you only have maybe another 60,
you might have like paused the earth like rotating like so much that like, like a week or two's gone by and you're like 60 now. You got that Benjamin Button.
And I just find that to be so tragic. Because also, keep in mind, any time that you spend in like, pause time, it's only you. You're alone. You don't have your friends. You don't have your sisters, your brothers, your parents.
Sounds so peaceful, though. I know that you're speaking to Colin's heart here. He's a night owl, and he loves 3 a.m. when no one expects shit from him. He told us that.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
No,
so you're voting for the Dracula syndrome, right? Like just live immortal and just watch everyone else die around you.
Look,
yeah, I was gonna say, dude, you one of the Lost Boys now?
Oh yeah, think about it. As long as I avoid like sharp objects being thrust at me and like 2-ton vehicles coming at me, I'm set. Like I can see the future.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like, could you think you could handle like living through everyone around you dying?
Yeah, sure.
Jeez, you're callous.
Not even a second thought about it.
I know. That's what every like immortal in fiction says is the worst part about living forever.
Yeah, and
everyone
but here's
you
the
love.
thing. Here's the thing. When I finally get tired of it, I can start aging again.
You could turn it off. You could.
You said stop and start, not
no,
forever.
No, I know.
Yeah. So when I do finally get sick of it, sure, I can just be human again.
But you won't have any of the. I mean, all it will really do is it'll be like advantageous for you in that you'll look younger, you'll feel younger. Everyone else will get way older. You'll get to see more of humanity just destroying the planet, basically. So don't move to Florida anytime soon, right? Like, but you won't really reap any like potential social benefits unless you like get on like Ellen DeGeneres or something, like as the 65-year-old that looks 22.
Well,
you won't really have there isn't a lot of like social gains to be had. Like you don't really have any particular special power that would afford you a higher quality life, a longer life. Yeah, but
you could be, dude. I mean, you could become the most interesting fucking man in the world. You live that long, you see so much shit, you have so much experience, you do so many things. You know what I mean? And then
you can sell Dos Equis beer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, or you can you could be the new Larry King.
Okay.
But here's the thing, guys. We may be coming up. I mean, this is kind of ripping off maybe a little bit of Lord of the Rings, but like this is, we're coming up with almost like a romance movie right now, because it's gonna be like we could have like one of those deals where like Robert, he may like age and maybe stay with 21 for like a very long time, but then he's gonna find that one girl that he falls in love with. He was like, well, I want to keep on aging and I want to die with this person, and then you fucking die.
Right, and that's cool.
Yeah, and they're gonna make a movie about this someday. We should
but I think like if you really had the power, you'd be like, no, fuck dying. I'm just gonna like turn this off right now.
But at the same time, if you take the time pausing thing, you can take all the time in the world to like finish all your accomplishments, but you can't do it with that loved one. You know what I mean? Whereas at least if you don't age, you'll spend some time with your loved one. And think about it. If it's only maybe 60 years of your life, I mean, like, come on, it's 60 years of your life ish, right? Like, assuming you meet someone like early and all that stuff. I think like even forming relationships and stuff with people, you'd still be living throughout their whole life.
So but isn't it going to be weird when like you look 22 and they look like 85 and you're like,
I mean,
isn't that
probably.
gonna be strange?
But if they're a friend of mine, I assume I'd tell them about this disorder I have.
Okay. Oh, so you wouldn't keep it to
Dude,
yourself?
it's going to be like that fucking scene in Interstellar where like Matthew McConaughey meets his daughter.
Ooh, yeah.
And she's like an old woman and he's like still the same age.
Yeah.
Plus, what?
And then she dies.
Plus, what if the government like catches hold of like this situation and then you're like just like poked and prodded, right? And like they dissect your brain. Like, you shouldn't be telling people about this if you have it.
I mean, I'd only tell my closest friends.
Okay.
And I'd assume, like, if I tell them, it's pretty much because I trust them.
Take this to the grave.
Yeah, take it to the grave.
So
I'll
what
watch.
age do you stop?
21.
21. So you're okay.
For the literally just for the pun.
So you're gonna look like a cougar hunter for the majority of your life.
Then again, if I'm always feeling 22, like that's also pretty strong branding. I
don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Yeah, when that song's not a fucking trend anymore, Robert, when you're 85 years old, but you're still looking 22.
When you're living in Neo Soul in the year 2897.
Hey, but I'll still be feeling 22. And the people listening to the podcast right now will at least still get the reference.
Anything for a gag. Robert Scarpino. So I like this, though. I like how you're both picking different things. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't like. I see. The way I picture with the whole stopping time thing. I mean, there's got to be like a lot of self-discipline involved, I guess, to avoid the whole like getting way too old before because I would try to use it as sparingly as possible.
You would try, but man.
Yeah, I mean, no, I guarantee there would be points where I wouldn't because just the temptations there. But like, I mean, having the ability to just do that. Period. Like you could easily better your life, like you said. Like you could fucking make a serious amount of money. You could go anywhere you want. You know what I mean? You could be somewhere very quickly. You don't have to, waste a whole lot of time getting there.
You could even spend that time, even like pause time and like work out, like to increase your lifespan.
Get swole.
You'd only live maybe 85 years or so, but man, it'd be a awesome 85 years. You'd be kind of set,
exactly.
So, it's a tough one. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm leaning more towards being able to stop time. But then again, when you get to that part where you're like, oh, damn, I'm about to die. Or like, I should have picked the other one.
Yeah.
That's like
a tragic choice.
Yeah, that's like everyone's greatest fear. So it's ultimately like how selfish do you want to be versus how much misery do you want to go through? Oh, that's interesting.
All right, but it's how you use that stop time, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I love how you use that time. I love your motivations too. You're like, I just want to sleep in. I just want to procrastinate on my term papers. It's like that's what I want about it. Yeah. No. Hey, I'm with you. If you could stop time. Does that mean you could use you could play video games? I don't think you could. You could.
Yeah.
You couldn't play video games if you're stopping time. That's impossible, right?
Because you're stopping everything around you from moving.
I was gonna say you could catch up on all your games.
Wait, so does that mean
you can't?
If you stop time, can you work on your term papers? Because that's on a computer.
I would argue that if you stop time, non-complex things like a pencil and paper, you could manipulate and bring into your time. But something complex like in electronics, I don't know. Nothing like that.
No, yeah, because there's moving parts, and if you're stopping everything that's moving,
and I guess wouldn't it mean as well? Man, we're getting deep here. Wouldn't it mean as well that light is standing still as well?
Yeah, but I'm not enough of a quantum physicist to know what that means.
Right. So if you're truly stopping time, do you just go blind?
Well, shit. Now I'm totally fine.
I don't even
totally
know.
fine.
Shit. What? Dude, I promise we're not smoking weed, guys. I swear to you. I promise for everyone listening right now. And, so we're just letting you know.
I don't know. I think for the sake...
Well, okay, so my counter argument to that is actually when you stop time, the light waves or whatever, they're suspended. So they're still there.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But you have to move to see? I don't know. We're overthinking this too much.
But are they waves or photons?
But, hold on. Back to... Stop. Just cut it out. You're trolling right now. But back to the term paper, though. You could write it down, pen and paper. Would your professor accept that? Hell no. They need it right, like Times New Roman, .12 font on Word. So who
Okay,
knows?
fair. So, well, at least that could still save you time, though. You could write it all down on paper and just transcribe it onto the computer once you unfreeze time.
Yeah, no, there's ways. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know which one I'd pick. I'd like to think in a perfect world, I'd like to think I would pick the stop time one and just use it, like you said, be very self-disciplined about that. However, I know myself enough to know that that is an almost impossible task to wield that kind of power and just be like, just once a day. So yeah.
But then for how long in that day? Because if you stop time for a year once a day, you're dead in like 6 months.
Well, no, I'd be dead in 6 months. That goes through in time, in the world's time, but it would still feel like a lifetime for me. Yeah, and then let's say you like pause time for like, let's say like 10 years, and then you unpause, then instantly it's just like Jack woke up and he looked, and all of a sudden he looks 30 now instead of 20, or he looks 20 now instead of 10. Like that would be jarring for everybody. Like no one would even believe you're yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be that the Tom Hanks movie Big.
Oh, here's another
Classic
question. Here's
movie.
another one. If you stop time, do you still get hungry? Do you still get thirsty?
I would imagine so.
Oh yeah, I mean you can still eat and drink, right?
Okay, but what if it gets to the point where like you don't have any more food in your fridge? So
you
then
just walk over to the grocery store. See, that's the thing. Everything's free when you stop time. Everything's free.
Okay, what about how to cook though? Does fire still work?
I wouldn't think so.
No, like you'd have to use it just to like do certain things, but to actually complete some sort of action like cooking or like basically using something else that has some sort of mechanical part or does some sort of action, you couldn't use it.
Cooking's a thing of the past, at least when time is stopped. If you want to cook, you're going to be burning seconds off the clock. If you want to do it yourself, the move is you go to Chipotle, okay, freeze time, and then you grab the burritos that they're about to hand to the person at the register. And then you just walk out with whatever they ordered.
See, yeah, there you go. He's thinking, okay.
Yeah,
he's thinking with his butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
So any other final thoughts on this?
Still going with aging.
Okay. No, I'm not trying to sway you. I mean, there's arguments for both for sure. If I was going to go with aging, I don't think I'd be able to handle that though, man. Because not to get too deep, but I've like gone through a death in the family and it was rough. It was very rough. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like you can't underestimate grief or tragedy, man. Like I couldn't imagine still living or being young and watching all of my family, my friends, my heroes, all of my heroes die.
Oh, man. And then you're always going to be like that 100, 200, 300-year-old guy, but you're always going to think everything when you were like 11 to 13 is the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like honestly, dude, like if you stopped yourself from aging, like you would live several lives essentially. Like you would not be the same person you were. Oh, you know what I mean? At all. You would have to fucking adapt and change so much that you would be a shell of your former self.
No, like here's my thought process, guys. It's not like I'm gonna be Robert Scarpanito for the next 1,000 years. No, like 2000 to 2100, I'm Robert Scarpanito, and then the new century, new me. I'm a new guy. I adopt a whole new persona, get a whole new job. Because think of how many colleges I could go to if I earn enough money, right? Like I literally have all the time in the world until another meteor hits Earth.
Would a college accept a guy that's 200 years old though? They probably think you're going to die soon. Well,
but then I tell them like, hey,
let me let you in on a
little secret.
You're telling too many people here this story, man. It's getting
out.
So
wait, like how the fuck does this like? Think about it logistically though. Like, you go to a job or something like that, and you hand them your birth certificate. Are you gonna forge your birth certificate?
No,
like,
it has to be. Yeah, you're gonna have the same ID. Yeah, it says here you're born.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
1991.
You're in the
it's
system.
3418 now.
And getting your information is only going to get easier as years go by.
It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
I got it.
You don't have it. You don't have it.
I figured it out.
No, you don't.
I figured it out. Okay, so I know that there are some scientists looking into like anti-aging, like literally looking at the human genome to find the right chromosomes or whatever that like cause aging. So all I need to do is lay low enough, long enough, until it's kind of caught up and everyone's all like, oh, yeah, you're 300 years old. You barely look a day above 20.
It's so easy. Why didn't I think of this? Lay low.
So I just lay
dude,
low.
it's going to take a long time until you get to that fucking point, though.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I have all the time in the world to wait.
I think, honestly, what would happen if I chose the same scenario that Robert's choosing now is that I would want to end it way sooner than I think I would right now. You think you'd want to live thousands of years in the future, but I think once you get to around the natural, life expectancy around 100 to even 120 years, I feel like you'd be like, all right, I've had enough. I've gone through generations now. So I think I'd want to end it sooner than you would imagine, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, you're also forgetting, like, you probably pretty much can't fall in love because you're guaranteed to watch your significant other die. Like, you're going to watch them die. And what are you going to do? Move on from that? Get another significant other? And for the rest of your life, you're going to be comparing them in your head or something like that.
This is terrible, Colin, what you're saying right now.
I never said it'd be an easy life. But I think it'd be an interesting life.
But Colin, it's the life he chose, man, and that's what we're gonna have to live with.
Dude, it's like think Wolverine though, dude. Wolverine's been through some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like he born in 1700s, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
he went through the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II.
But how cool is Wolverine?
I mean, he's dope as hell.
There it is.
But he's fucked up in the head.
Yeah, but
it doesn't change that.
I don't think
he's cool.
I don't think he thinks he's very cool.
No, and that's fair. But
no, he's like, dude, he's got like probably psychosis up the ass.
He's gone through more pain than anyone.
He's got every probably mental condition there is.
Yeah. Okay, but hey, fair enough. I like hearing both sides. Any final thoughts here you guys want to add, or
no?
I don't know, man. Stop time.
Locking in your answers. Okay.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
All right. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. That's going to do it, though, for us here at Tiny Disc Podcast. You can follow us on social media. You can hit us at Twitter at Tiny Disc Podcast. You can also email us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. Colin, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so come hit us up on the Tiny Disc Facebook group every week on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do a Facebook Live Q&A and Hangout, and we just sit there, field your questions, get your comments, take in your questions, concerns, blah, blah, blah. And I also just kind of do a state of the podcast address, talk about what we're planning, give you a little teaser of the next episode, and talk about any plans we have for the future and how we're going to expand the podcast going forward. But yeah, and on top of that, posting the podcast there, of course, and then also having topics to talk about in the Facebook group, and having, just interacting with you guys as much as possible, and you guys can feel free to post yourselves and all that good stuff. So yeah, Tiny Disc Podcast Facebook group.
I'm also becoming a lurker to the group as well too, so you may see me chime in every once and again.
Lurker, yeah.
Not really showing up on camera too much, but if there's some good comments in there, I tend to participate. So thank you guys for all the people that have subscribed recently and have been with us since the beginning. We're on our 11th episode now, so we're still a really young podcast, but we really appreciate everyone that's downloading this and subscribing to us from around the country, from even around the world. Like, we really appreciate you guys. So we need your help, though. We can't do it without you. Like, definitely spread the word, and we're just going all through word of mouth right now. Tell your friends about the podcast, and let's grow this thing out. Let's see how big it can get. So if you have any responses to our Would You Rather, any questions you'd like to ask us that you'd like us to read on the show, we'd be more than happy to. Again, just send those emails to the address that Robert said earlier, tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And we can also get a hashtag started. Don't forget to tweet at us using the hashtag TDP, kind of get the conversation going, get people interested. But that's enough of shilling from us. I guess there's one more little plug we can do. Where can we find you guys individually on the Twitter feeds?
So I am at booboo__55 on Twitter, aka Colin and Mono.
Still makes me smile every time you say your Twitter. Yeah, so you guys can find me at Jack Cepeda at JACCEPEDA.
Did you have a little stroke there? You're right.
Maybe a little bit. I'm okay. Just a little sweaty.
All right.
Blah, 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 blah.
And you can
He's
find...
actually 85 years old.
I know. I picked that choice. Yeah, I picked the never age. So
You can find me, Robert, at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST, and that's my feed on all the social medias. So yeah, that should do it for us this week at the Tiny Disc Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Bong. Bong.
With more fidget spinners.
You had to know it's coming.
So, Jack, Mr. Jack,
Yes.
Senran Kagura
What is it?
is a video game series. in
Good,
which-
clean it up. We're done.
that's it. That's all
Yeah.
we need. That's all we need. So it is an anime. It is an anime series. I was gonna say anime. Jesus. So
Is it
it's a
only
video game.
game?
It's a
Hold on.
video
Hold on.
game.
Is it only a video game? Or does it exist in film and?
I don't
TV?
know. Here's the
No.
thing. I think there might be an anime for it, but it came
wouldn't surprise
after,
me.
It came after the game for sure. The game is like the
yeah.
genesis of what
Okay.
this is.
That's the core property.
Yeah.
So it's a very anime-esque game where you play as scantily clad lady ninjas,
Right.
and you hack and slash other lady ninjas,
Ah.
and by doing which you strip their clothes off with every slash of your sword,
Right.
Is
and
this
that's how you
rated M?
defeat them. Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. It's basically like, Dead or Alive.
Yes.
It's like the sex appeal is definitely the reason you buy that game.
Is it?
Come on.
I mean,
Dude, you're doing
it's
Dead or Alive a
definitely-
disservice there.
Well, the volleyball game maybe, but
The
Well,
volleyball
yeah.
game for
the
sure.
fighting game's a good fighting game.
yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
a good fucking fighting game. Yeah.
That's fair. But that's basically what Senran Kagura is. It's trying to float so hard on its fan service that it's kind of scary, honestly.
And this
Just-
is readily
the funny thing is,
available
I've
in
heard the
North America?
games. I've heard the games play pretty nicely. Yes, it's available in
You've
North
heard.
America.
I love how you've heard.
I've
I've
watched
never
reviews.
played the game
I've watched
myself.
gameplay. I've watched gameplay. I don't own the games yet, but I might buy. I might consider buying one.
Gotcha.
Now, here's the thing. Hold on. I need to look this up because I need to get the name completely right. So I'm gonna have some keyboard typing here for a second.
Senran Kagura.
Shoot, man, is it Peach Beach Splash? Is that the name of it?
What?
Yeah.
Robert could eat a peach all day long.
Man, it's just crazy how much they're living off that sweet anime titties.
Oh no.
That's kind of all it is.
This is I've never heard of it before, and so they didn't even localize the name for North America. It sounds like. Is this import only, or is this like North American release? Is this NIS?
Oh, it's North American release. It's it might be NAS America. Hold on, I can tell you here in a second.
What are you snickering at over there, Robert?
It's just that you're asking whether or not you can get it on like if you can get it around here. It's on
dude,
Steam, my friend. You are 2 clicks away from being able to own this video game.
Dude, I mean,
Oh,
you
man.
can go to GameStop and buy a physical copy for PS4, and there's
Really?
Vita. Yeah, there's Vita games and a 3DS game.
Wow, this sounds like a full-fledged property that's
Oh,
selling.
yeah.
It wouldn't be in stores if it wasn't selling. Someone's
sure.
playing this game, and it's a fighting game. You said,
Hack
or
and
is it a hack and
slash.
slash like 3D kind of character action game?
It's
Yeah.
almost It's like almost like a Muso.
Is it light on the story?
Couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either.
He's like,
but,
I'm not there for the story.
But I have to tell you guys about probably the best Senran Kagura game, and I'm of course speaking from experience because I bought every single one. Senran
I can't
Kagura.
tell if he's joking.
I'm joking so hard. There's no way I'd ever buy these
I
games.
really
but,
couldn't tell.
But here's the thing. So we've just told you that this is a game that's all about like, it's like a Muso game, but there's also like a beach spring festival version of the game. There is Senran Kagura Bon Appetit full course, where
no.
it's like like the Donkey Kong game with the congas. Like you press
Shut up, whatever you're about to say. Shut up. Bring up Congo.
Oh my god.
conga drums. What the fuck?
Well, there aren't drums to it, but there's like quick time events where there are 2 lines on the bottom of the screen, and then like symbols are coming across the line. And you have to press a button when it hits the end of the line. And you fill up a bar, and while that's happening, your character is like chopping up fish or like cooking up a stew. Like, it's literally, can you cook better by QTEing and like rhythm gaming your way there. It's a cooking rhythm game with anime titties, and it's like, here's the best part, it's 2 chefs going against each other, both of course women, and it's like multiple rounds. It's not just like when you win you need like a best 3 out of 5 or something. Every time you win a round, the enemy strips.
All right, I've had enough.
So there you go. You wanted to know?
I feel enlightened now. Yeah, the more you know. We need to add that the star going across the top of the screen.
Meanwhile, Jack is adding every single game in the series to his cart on Amazon right now.
Oh man.
Oh my god. I'm watching a trailer on Steam right now because I pulled up the Steam page, and like, my fucking god, it's absurd. Oh my Jesus.
1-day shipping is not fast enough.
Yeah, but you can download it right now.
Or how about no? How about not?
It's only $30.
It's okay. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate it. We're gonna get out of here. Let's go. Let's never do this again. Let's never speak of this again.
Tune in next week when we talk about Leisure Suit Larry.
Bong bong.